Yo. Welcome back to the To Be Fair show. This is Effort. We'll do it live. Welcome back. I'll say before we get started, hit the notification button, ring the bell, follow the To Be Fair show, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. I am your host, Johnny P.
Over here, real.
It's Q.
And we back.
Yeah.
Pre-show.
You missed comment.
Oh, and comment too. Man, you could do it too.
That's your job, man.
You wanna.
That's your job.
Is it the pre-show or is it the show?
It might be both. It might be both today. It might be both. I don't know. I don't know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess to give some of the listeners as y'all kind of fall in. So today we're gonna do a little bit of an audible from our typical format where we're gonna run down our normal effort. We'll do it live, but then we're gonna give y'all a live version of the show as well. So we're gonna give our questions, and even during those questions, if y'all have comments, feelings, thoughts towards whatever we're talking about, tap in. We'll still see the live chat. We'll comment as much as we can. With that said, how's y'all week, fellas?
Jenny.
My week was all right. It was
That mean it was a shitty week.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't the best week, but it wasn't the worst week. I'm still here, so hey, we still here.
My week was cool. Work, you know what I mean? That's about really the bulk of it.
Gotcha.
I ain't really mad at it.
What about you, big dog?
No, I had a cool week. I think this weekend I was trying my hardest to put callus on my fingers. So that was like the thing that I did all like Friday and Saturday.
What was that?
Like putting things together.
Oh, what you put together?
What is it? What do we do? Like the bed, like the nursery bed, the dresser, bed. Just got it like another new bed. Well, inside our room. I put something else together on Friday. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, just screwing little screws all day.
Well, that's like one of the worst things.
Using them little Allen wrenches.
Yeah, just doing this now. Now I'm at another weird angle doing this. Then I got to get up under it.
Well, now what you need, you gotta get the long the Allen wrench with the long handle.
Oh, you said Allen? Well, I ain't gonna lie. I be getting stuff from Amazon and IKEA and shit. So it usually comes with all the tools that you need for the most part. But they don't really have like the best quality tools. And then as you start putting things together, just the way the direction goes, you're gonna end up in a weird scenario. It just is what it is. Like maybe you got to screw it, but you can't use the one that's like really that makes it easy to screw it fast. You got to turn it like this, so then you got to like do it really slowly over and over because it's like this much space. But yeah, I don't want to do a deep dive on me putting together furniture.
Hey, no, but that's one of them things. Like as a man, bro, as these gifts and things roll in over time, you'll find yourself putting together so many beds and toys and bookcases and you know what I mean? It's like one of them things. Like, bro, I hope they don't come with a whole bunch of boxes and shit.
Yeah, well, that's why that from now on. Well, this is what I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for pre-assembled gifts, pre-assembled furniture.
But I'm not buying you something and putting it together too. No, that's on you, bro. Not having it.
But this advocacy can go towards the toy manufacturers, the furniture manufacturers.
No, not bro. It's a part of it, bro. It's,
you know
you just have to get.
No, I cannot like
get this. This is.
I ain't gotta like it.
It's healthy.
Like
it's healthy.
I don't think it's healthy even.
But then
it's healthy, bro.
You gotta get a truck.
You know that if you know how much your knees hurt, just like crawling on the damn whatchamacallit. That junk be annoying.
Bro, I swear I hate. Look,
it'd be like, man, I might as well just go ahead and buy some knee pads for this. Just because you just crawling on the carpet over and over, crawling on the carpet.
Yeah, sure.
You can't flip it upside down. Some stuff. Like instead of crawling under.
No, I'm saying all right. So typically, if you're putting something together, you can't stand up. You have to be on your knees.
Yeah, Johnny, you ain't. Yeah,
he don't be.
No, I'm not. I'm
don't worry about it. This
a pro tip. This a pro tip.
How are you going to
like? This nigga talking about it's a pro tip. How you gonna put it together?
So if we start off with two boards, no matter which way I flip that, it don't matter. I got to be on my knees.
I'll say, all right. I mean, depending on what you're putting together, because the last time I put together a TV stand and a chair, instead of like me staying like laying down on the ground, I just take whatever item I'm building and flip it a different way, and then you can access whatever screw or you want from a different angle, and you're not all the way down. This is a pro tip. Y'all ain't got to take it.
It's a pro tip. I hear
that. Tell Johnny build a dresser and see how that works.
I done built a dresser. I just put.
Oh, you never touch the knees on the ground.
I didn't say didn't get on the ground, but I'm saying it's easier sometimes depending on how you flip and how you arrange whatever said item.
This is one of those sound good moments.
Johnny just talking right.
No, okay, like
he's just saying words.
Like I say, y'all ain't got to take the pro tip. Like, y'all ain't got to. Y'all can stay on rookie mode.
Gotcha.
I hear you.
Hey Tone, two small things. Can we see that? Can we see that chat? So whenever the amazing audience comes in, we can comment back with them. And I think my boy Jeremy, he camera shy on this wide shot. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all was telling me about things that was happening this week inside the news. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know what I guess I want it. Well, let's see what we got in here. No, we can hold this one.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say
we can hold this one.
Which way you want to start with? Cause we got
Is it something that isn't inside the memes yet?
Oh no, she right there. Well, I want to get her once we get a couple more because I want to hear what other people got to say about this.
I was gonna say
I would like that one to be as live as possible.
Hey, we'll go to the one right below it, Tone, because we was talking about that right before we went live.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So we went from 6 minutes songs to 2 minute songs. We went from right.
Who want to read it?
Oh, I guess I'll read it since I was all over doing that pretty much. I said we went from 6 minute songs to 2 minute songs. We went from writing and practicing before we record to not writing at all and just freestyling. Artists have gotten lazy. Of course, sales are gonna be down 40% if the quality and work ethic went down.
To be fair, reading challenge.
Yeah, and seeing challenge too.
Tell her this was the seeing challenge. You know the vocabulary.
Oh, I ain't got nothing to prove. I don't care nothing about it.
Jerry said that he used to raise that hand. Don't play with him.
Hey. Oh, that was the test back in the day.
Yeah,
having to read out loud.
Oh, you know the one thing for me is that I never really like reading out loud because I retain nothing.
That's also true.
I focus too much on
just making sure you
I don't know what the hell I be reading. Just be saying words just to show. Yeah, I can read, but I don't know nothing that I just was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're reading out loud, yeah. I mean,
that's what I just said.
I was agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. That's right.
Hey, y'all seen Pootie Tang?
Yeah.
You know how exactly. like dude to say something, then the guy right behind him would just say the exact same thing.
Yeah,
he was Pootie Tanging.
That's exactly what it was.
I was agreeing, bro.
Young Pootie.
All right. Does somebody have commentary on this?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, that's what we was talking about earlier. About like, is music really timeless anymore? And I was the one that said I don't think it is. Mm-hmm. I think
all right. So this is gonna be my take because I came in and all y'all niggas was probably agreeing. I feel like y'all was all agreeing. So this is what I'll say. It's mad music from back then that didn't age well at all. Like I say it's about 85% of the 80s I throw away. But then the hits be the hits. It's a lot of that fusion pop, corny jazz, and then it's like when it was like learning how to use DAW systems and shit. I ain't rolling with, especially a lot of like that poppy R&B. Like R&B went through a weird time during that time. From being honest, I think it found its footing again in the 90s, but 80s R&B was a little weird. And they was wearing like skirts and what's the blouses? They was wearing blouses and leather.
What's the term? And androgynous.
Yeah, androgyny androgyny hit crazy. But my bad. I want to at least throw out a contrary before y'all get to it.
I mean, that's a fair perspective. Maybe because this is the To Be Fair show.
I ain't wearing no blouse, bro. All of that.
I wasn't talking about the
feminine dressing things that them guys was going through.
But what about tight leather?
I'm cool, bro.
Hey, that shit came back in our generation though with skinny jeans. So
shit, you wear skinny jeans?
No, I didn't. I'm saying it came back though. It definitely.
But that was for the kids though. It didn't come back for us. But we adopted it.
It was grown niggas wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah, I'm saying we adopted it, but it was for the kids though. But anyway, I do say that I agree. Well, I understand what you were saying too, and I think that there's going to be much more music because there are so many more artists that we, you know what I mean. It's so much larger of a pool that it's going to be a lot of misses. There's going to be a lot more misses than there were back in the day. But I think that also like people don't digest music like we used to.
It comes out too fast.
Yeah, it comes out too fast, and then our attention spans, regardless of where we want to say it or not, they're getting shorter.
And also another big thing when it comes to this is like the access to like the studio. It's like back in the 80s, not everybody could make a song. Yeah. Now anybody can download, Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, and go in their closet and make a song. So I think like you said, like 85% of the stuff back in the 80s was throwaway. I think in our generation, it's close to like 95% of the music is just going to get like maybe even higher. It's just getting thrown away. And then we're left with the 1, 2, 3% of like, out of, if you think about all the music that's being made nowadays, it's way more music being made than in the 80s. And I think that contributes to the quality of it going down. Also, the access.
Well, the barrier of entry is way lower. That's the main thing.
For not just the artists, also for the consumer too.
Yeah,
because back in the day, you had to go to the store, spend $18.99 for the deluxe copy. You was gonna spend that bad boy because you spent $20. Now you paying $9.99 every month, and you can listen to a million songs. So the work to get the music isn't the same. So the appreciation for it, of course, isn't gonna be.
And I ain't gonna lie, I'm a person that's paralyzed by choice. Too many choices, I just be like, F it. I just go something I know.
Yeah. Oh no, I am 100% like that, bro. I'm 100%. I hate so many choices in anything. I remember going to the VA and looking at the glasses. They got like a whole wall of free glasses. Of course, they got the ones you can pay for, but it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna look at. I'm like, bro, you got like 50 pairs of glasses up here, bro. In the way, like, bro, just
they in the way.
In the way, bro. I just mess around.
That's crazy.
Give me those.
You can only get one free pair.
Yeah.
I honestly say, I don't know.
It'd be some trash frames. I enjoy finding my.
I don't know. It ain't that important to me, bro. Just give me. I want to be able to see. That's about it, bro. Just let me see, and I'm gonna get out of here. What you was gonna say, Tone?
Nah, I was saying, I don't know if we're gonna make timeless music anymore. I think like there are artists who still make timeless music. I think we just don't hear them as much anymore. Like compared to like the radio works different, streaming works different. Like compared to how things used to be back in the day. Like now it benefits the industry more to just play a record multiple times and have it playing over and over again than for consumers to genuinely like it.
That's how it's been like that at least since the 90s.
You think since the 90s, people? I still think we got a lot of timeless music in the 90s.
I know. I mean,
we got a lot of timeless music back in the 90s.
But I think we got a lot of timeless music in 2000s and the 2010s. It's a bunch of timeless music that still happens.
Yeah.
It just doesn't resonate on the radio.
What would be like the?
But hasn't it always been like the
songs? Like,
but hasn't that always been like the critique?
No,
but
I
like
think
when you go commercial,
I think that you used to have hit records like that. That everybody that was an agreement that this is actually a hard record. But now it just seemed like all
in
of
the 2000s, like ringtone rap era. That's not true at all.
Well, I mean, if
like most of the stuff on the radio, at least I put it like this: at least since I was in high school, the old heads always called it trash.
No, but I mean, old heads call everything trash. That is
we old heads right now.
Yeah. So I mean, we calling. I get that now. We calling these kids' music trash.
But they calling their music trash. They even call their music trash. It ain't just us.
But you want to know what's actually funny is that right now, and if you listen to the radio, it's not rap on the radio. It's more Afrobeat than anything. It's Afrobeat and R&B.
I wouldn't know.
That's what dominates the radio right now. You hear way more African artists than you hear rappers.
But it's because rap is down.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's garbage.
Because motherfuckers tired of hearing motherfuckers rap from the closet and shit, bro.
I think it's that we're tired of hearing the same subject matter, and it's literally just people saying the same thing on pretty much the same beats over and over and over and over. And it's just like, okay, bro, we done heard that story before. Niggas ain't never had a good day, bro.
I seen somebody talk about like we're at the age where we should be like, back in the day, like rap like mirrored real life, like for the average person, like you could relate to like.
You think so?
A lot of the stuff.
When in the like post 95.
I was talking about way back in the day though. I was
all right, like
I was going way back.
Hip hoppy to hippie.
Yeah, like I mean,
nah.
I mean.
Ask the question you was about to ask though, because I still think there was relevant songs in the 90s.
It's relevant songs today though.
Yeah, but I mean, I lost my train of thought. But like
Kendrick just made a whole therapy album.
But no, what I was gonna say
that's what I was about to say. The only timeless artist we got is like J. Cole, Kendrick. My fault, Johnny.
But no, we're at the point where, and J. Cole is. I'm glad you said that. J. Cole is an artist that's like he's giving you an example of like as we get into our 30s, 40s, 50s, how the music should change, because we shouldn't be rapping about the same thing that we were when we were 20 that we are when we're 40.
I agree.
And 100%. So like the rap is to the point where there's a bunch of 40-plus-year-old rappers. Why ain't they rapping about like
because you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it.
Kids.
Think about when Jeezy tried to do that. Niggas, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear the old Jeezy. Like
who
people
said that?
What was the album that he came out with when he was pretty much to me it was reminiscent of like a 444 album. When he was kicking game.
About the most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent.
I know what you're talking about.
No, he actually came out with another Trap or Die thing after that. But it was before that.
You talking about he was in front of a car with a beret on.
I think so.
I know the album you're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people were saying, he even talked about it in an interview. They like people would tell him, we don't want that from you. We won't. So he felt like he had to go back and give them what they wanted from him. And I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, I want to see the man mature. I don't believe that you should be talking about the same thing in your 20s that you should be talking about in your 40s.
I agree, but I also think that sometimes artists allow their fans to dictate who they are.
Oh, agree.
Instead of otherwise. Where like Jay-Z has an infamous line of you want the old Jay-Z, listen to my old albums.
Makes sense.
And Kanye says the exact, like everything always builds, and no matter what, the fans still follow. They complain and then they follow. They complain and then they follow. But one thing I will say that goes to the notion of rappers getting older and like rapping about youngish. Something that's interesting is that kids don't listen to Drake. And they clown Drake for doing like the young thing. Like it was a meme that was going around. Oh, matter of fact, I was trying to give Drake some just see if I missed a couple on the album, right? So when we was driving up to Winston today, and I was playing the song that he has with Yeet, and QJ, he already had his headphones on, but then he took it off. He was like, and then the beat dropped, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I did. This sounded familiar. I heard it." And what he knew it from was the kids on TikTok making fun of Drake for trying to sound young, because Yeet's a younger artist, and him getting on the record and it sounding weird. It sounded wild. And so I thought that's interesting, but it's really true. Like the kids, they like at least high school and under. I don't know about college. I think a lot of the college kids are very much so the same as well. At least the younger college, where Drake is, his consumer base is more or less our age and maybe like mid-20s.
So you saying it's over for him?
But he's trying to appeal for the younger kids. I don't think it's over. Drake ain't going nowhere only because he's the big fish. He has such a big audience, but this is his first time getting that real pushback because his audience is getting older. And by the time he drop his next project, he's gonna be about 40. He said he about to take some years off.
So it's about over.
He's gonna be about 40. He's 37 right now. I'm not saying like that's a weird word. So I'm not saying it's over for him. He's going to, anytime he drops, I'm saying it's over if he shits on the record, it's going to do amazing numbers.
No, I actually think we're going to see an interesting time period. I think stuff is about to transform because rap is just 50.
Yeah, I think that the however the powers that be have moved and shaped it, I think that they pretty much left it to become where it is now. It was like I don't see. What does the rebirth look like?
The rebirth?
Yeah, like to the
Drake?
No. I'm saying of hip hop. Like, what is the?
It'll just evolve into something else.
What does the evolution look like?
I don't think that you can really predict where it's going to go because it like always changes and it cycles also. So I would imagine that either it's going to get more ignorant than it's going to get really conscious again, or like it'll pivot
enough and then it'll be conscious first.
Well, what's going to happen?
Well, that's usually the cycle because like 2010-ish, like during the Kendrick Pro era, Cole, like that era.
Yeah,
that
Wale was in that.
Lupe,
period.
like it was a like quick little conscious bubble that happened.
Time right there.
In which that became a really, really like big push, and then it transitioned again.
Is there a spirit of that amongst our youth now?
A spirit of what?
Consciousness?
Like as far as like that level, like that was there. Like there was a kind of yearning for it when that music came out for us. Like during that time period, there was a lot of us
in high school kids. Is that what
not even just high school? Like I ain't even just referring to high school, but just like okay, like the time you're referring to, like Big Crit them and all them came out. Like and even with the times periods that we looked like there was something that they knew how to speak to within the music where it was like I don't know, like they still connected to us on a real life level, whether they was big superstars or not. And even with like
you saying
I think that it was a because if you think about that period of time, the Kendrick, Cole, Wale, Lupe, we were like a couple years in college. Because you think about Wayne Carter 3 was in what was that 07, 08?
Yeah, but I don't put Wayne into any of that.
Yeah,
I also don't put Big Sean into that either.
No, what I'm saying is that
he's more of like a rapper.
But I'm talking about the level of what they was talking about coming around that time though, like as far as like because we was talking about Cole, Big Crit, all of them when they was coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Do you think there's a level of yearning for that, like now amongst the youth, where they want to hear something like that?
I think that it's so. I'll put it like this, and this is why I said I don't think that it's really predictable. And when it's going to change, it'll change because right before that era, it was the snap music era. It was like as dumbed down, Laffy Taffy as you can get. And then the kids typically rebel against whatever the previous generation did before them. Whether that's going back and crate digging or it's going and drilling. Like right after the conscious little era, that's when drill music hit. Like it went from one extreme to the other. And I think like it's typically like just that cycle that you always see. Generations.
One thing.
Go ahead. I just always say let's not take up too much.
Yeah, I was gonna finish it off with this.
Oh, okay.
Hip hop is something that's always like it's driven by the youth, and like the older we get, the further we are removed from the youth. So it's harder for us. Like 20 years ago, we could almost predict what would happen in rap because it was like
you knew what the new underground jumps.
Well, we were bringing it to fruition. It's like the things I wanted to see is what like happened, and because it was the things that everybody around me wanted to see, and that's what pushed it. We're no longer the youth. We're not pushing it's not what we want no more. They don't really care about like when it comes to music, what we really want. I mean,
and truthfully, we out of touch. Like the younger underground artist, I don't know.
We don't know where the music better go now. It's some kids out there that probably got.
They all know. Like QJ's playlist, I don't know a single artist on it.
And somebody from that playlist probably gonna be the next.
Yeah.
While I'm thinking about it, remind me to show y'all this documentary when we get off. I want y'all to see it. Like it was basically about TV.
It's called Hidden Colors.
Nah.
You talking about with Michael K?
Nah. The guy was talking about like he was basically talking about how like we've been pretty much controlled by the TV, and he was showing like how the baby boomer generation was the first ones to even have a TV and how all that stuff play. But
this is good bag work. We can expand that into a conversation.
I think it'd be a good conversation. I want y'all to see the video.
I want to talk about Jada Pinkett. That's what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Jada Pinkett.
I want to talk about. I want to see if we can get. I want to do. When we get one more live viewer, then I want to go to Cheesecake. But I definitely want to let's talk about Jada Pinkett, bro.
Jada Pinkett, Smith Shakur.
Smith Shakur.
I only know Jada Shakur.
I don't even think she know Will Smith.
I don't even know because
she came out this week and said she never met him.
They've been split up for what, 2 years? What she said?
7 years.
7
years. 7 years. Yeah. She said Chris Rock shot a jumper. You didn't hear about that?
Oh. Yeah, when he heard about the divorce.
He shot a jumper. What was the point of saying any of this?
The most fucked up thing she said though, she was like when he went up there and talking about wife. She was like, I was wondering who he was talking about because we ain't referred to each other as husband and wife.
Oh, like, that's some extreme for the streets activity, bro. And completely unnecessary.
That is so disrespectful, bro. And
what do you think? What do you think the goal is of it? Because like I feel like she's like trying to birth a career. It's like the round table thing. Like I don't know anybody. I think
right now she's on a book tour.
Okay, so that's what we're either way. I still feel it's the same
trying to
thing.
birth a career.
It's like it's the same thing because nobody has paid attention to or given a fuck. Only time we did was when she said something about Will. Every time she's done this is the only time anybody cares.
Ain't nobody cares.
So it's literally, I'm feeling like that's the reason that she's doing these things.
Eating off that man. Like she literally eating off him by going around disrespecting him. It's like biting the hand that feeds you. Because like the only way like any of us pay attention is when Will do something and then she come back and then she got to, or when she say something about Will and then it's the most disrespectful kind of.
Or Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac.
And then my thing, what's the point of bringing up Tupac at this point, bro?
The problem about it
maybe because they just locked up my boy for the Tupac murder, Keefe D. They just got Keefe D for the murder. Now they talking about Diddy and maybe that, you know what I mean, kind of is building.
No,
I don't know what it is. But I'm talking about why are we talking about it right now though? What?
Because she's going on the book tour, and those are always her two like topic points.
Yeah, it's the same thing you just said about Will. The same thing you just said about Will. She using Tupac the same way, even though he did. Like,
I wouldn't say Keefy D because
for her to show that little old video of her.
But it makes
dancing with Tupac.
It's actually Alopecia Appreciation Month, and
that's what
Tupac was a alopecia survivor, and so maybe that's
come on, man.
Oh no, but that did come out, and she said that he had a secret battle with alopecia. And
I feel like she just made up.
I swear to God, bro.
Come on, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm not believing. I'm not going, bro. I'm not going.
And to me, the problem,
I refuse.
The biggest problem of the whole thing is the fact that she right now is taking liberty with like adding herself to Tupac's legacy, and Tupac never talked about her, and he don't get a chance to defend. Like he might be
exactly.
Like, bro, that was a
we
joke.
was just on a different world.
that was just a little joke.
Yeah. You got dropped off. Let it go.
But she could tell the story however she want to tell it, and that's the tough part.
And that's wicked work too to talk about a dead person like that. Because that man.
And how long ago? How long does this conversation continue, bro?
Right. But y'all were friends in high school. Y'all 40, 50 something now. You still talk about this dude?
Oh, bro, let it go.
But one thing I will say, I think that I don't understand why Will Smith didn't just come out and say that we're divorced or that we're separated.
Maybe he still wants it.
But my thing is that everything that has happened in the public eye makes way more sense as soon as you say that. Like the August Alsina, now it doesn't seem like they're cheating. She's just y'all separated. She's dating somebody.
Still dating a little boy.
But my thing is that it doesn't look crazy on him now.
I don't think he really cares at this point what he looks like.
I don't think
he slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
That's also true. Yeah. But my thing is that like public perception impacts his career in itself. And that's why he took that 2-year break before he even released something. But in general, I just think that he looks way better in public, and and especially her always throwing him under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's done had like episodes where she's talking about how she never wanted to marry him and she was crying on the wedding day. She talks about how like she couldn't believe that they was gonna get married. She's had so many different things, but if you know that this is a woman that's separated from her husband, so she's not actually speaking inside any level of sanctity or inside his best interest, it all makes way more sense. And it's like, that's just a sperm.
He's trying to save some money, bro.
Man, I feel
how much bread this.
No, that's Stockholm.
They got a good publicist.
No, but my thing is that you don't have like if they're just separated, like how she just announced. He could have been said that.
Yeah, but it's different when you say it versus when she said it.
Bro, it's different when she beating your back online.
My thing, but it's different if you start beating her back in online.
But you don't have. But again, if you just say we're separated, you don't have to beat anybody.
Now I believe now that she said that it's okay for him to say it, but he ain't trying to wear the L. Don't say it first. Bro.
Let me ask y'all this:
just get your beat back.
It's just you may take it too far, further than what you really trying to go right now.
How further can she take
in your pockets?
Do y'all think? Do you think that boy Will is getting abused? You think what she's doing? You think that's a form of like abuse?
He might like it actually.
Like because like if a man went out there, I feel like if it was the opposite, and like say like who's another couple? Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Say Dwayne Wade went out there and was like, yeah, I never wanted to marry this woman, and just started talking about like Gabby like that. I think people would be like, oh, he
wilding.
You would wear it for
you
sure.
would hear a lot more words being thrown around. Manipulator, abuser, like it'd be a lot of words thrown around. And I think
strong, good ones too.
And I think that's the thing that's happening to Will is like this is a form of like abuse. So you can go back to that like time when they was in the house and she was recording him and he was like, hey, don't film me without asking me. And you could like see it in his face, like he was like stressed the fuck out. And she was like recording him. It was like right for the red. Whatever the red joint called, red table joint or whatever. But he looks like an abused person. Like and a lot of time abused people, instead of like running away from their abuser, what do? They try to protect him. They go and they try to, they get closer to him. It makes them love him even more instead of like running away. You see that a lot of time in like domestic violence.
It do seem like Jada walk around with a strap on.
And so
y'all seen that picture where he was like had his legs crossed and everything, and she had her joints out.
She
like
walk around with. She seemed like she walk around with a strap on, bro. Like,
she wear the pants inside everything.
Wow.
Again, like I said, my only thing is that I definitely call corny on Will in that behalf. Like if y'all been separated, ain't no way I'm separated and I'm letting my lady
For
drag
7
me
years.
in public like that.
They
It's
got
rough.
Like I gotta wear
gotta
August
have-
Alsina busting my shorty and you talking shit every single chance you get.
But I mean,
Like
it's
I'm on like
it's a reason. There's a reason. He's not doing it for a reason.
They got an Olivia
But
Pope, bro.
whatever
They got an
secret he
Olivia
got.
Pope.
But
That's
my thing
all
is, I
it
think
is.
that it might be just a piece of his character. I didn't notice, but Will Smith, like his previous marriage, he wasn't going to leave it, and like he kind of like forced his wife's hand to divorce him.
Well, I also saw something where his.
I mean, we all kind of do that though.
But it seems like he
goes
like
through
there's
way more than the average man.
Right, and
that's what you're saying. He
yes,
puts himself through.
But I think it goes back to his childhood though.
Let me
Because they said his dad abused his mom a lot, and he grew up with that, and so he always said he never wanted to be that. So he's like kind of going to like
being
the whole opposite extreme as far as being the victim, and I think that has a lot to do. Also, I think like I used to think.
I feel like that might be a reach.
That's what I've heard. I just heard that like on the way. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm just saying that's it's a theory. But I also feel
like attachment issues, if anything.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say. Also, I'll let you finish because I forgot my other point I had.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna try to see if we could push it along. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think there's a reason that he's just taking it. I don't know what that reason is. The most quick thing that I can go to is bread. There's a lot to lose in the scenario where you know what I mean. I think at some point,
well, they said he had a secret, and at this point, whatever secret you got, you might as well just come out with it. You end up looking
right.
Whether
you gay
or whatever, you might as well just come out with it.
Probably
and you're gonna end up saving face.
He be getting pegged.
That's all. That's what it seems like, bro.
Like
I think he'd be getting pegged, bro.
It might be something like that, but still, you way better to come out and say that at this point than sit there and keep on taking.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna care.
It's 2023. Like I mean,
nobody cares.
You just looking crazy. So
you're not the first person.
But yeah, I guess we can get into these memes.
Let's not do what you call it yet. I don't want to talk cheesecake yet. Let's not just hound.
Yeah, well, y'all got to rock paper scissors it out anyway. So
all right,
let's go.
Get y'all up out of there. I'll go first.
I don't mind losing as long as Johnny lose with me. He always, I don't know.
No, I go first. All right. Let me look and see where we at. I got a couple quick ones. Go to Shorty with the glasses. Pull it up before you go to it, so the audience can see it. Don't click it yet. Let the audience see it.
Oh, well, let me do this thing first.
I feel like this one's about to be. Is it funny?
I think it's funny.
She looks funny.
Exactly. I just feel like that was already funny to me.
Birthday, that a white bitch with a baba be on me one. In what body we do, I be like birthday. That a white bitch with a baba be on me one.
I think that's hilarious because that's what Scissor sounds like to me.
She don't enunciate her words.
I don't know what she be saying.
I thought she was talking about Joe Biden for a whole year.
Yeah, like
she's like stealing the looting like Joe Biden. You ain't heard that line? Stealing, scheming, looting like Joe Biden.
Right.
So what was she really saying?
Hide Joe bodies.
Yeah, she was talking about killing somebody.
She said hide Joe bodies. Wow. I thought she said like Joe Biden.
So Tone, can you go to the top one on the right? It's Drewski.
Uh-oh.
Tell me out of the just tell me who y'all think this is.
Sorry, bro. Who the hell is this? I'm the type of nigga stand on business, nigga. One man arm against 50, nigga. Let's do that. I stand on business, nigga. Sorry, bro. Who the hell is this?
I think that is.
Yeah. Who going down that hill?
I don't know. I have no clue who that is.
Is they not backing down from a crazy? I thought that was funny. I was like, if one thing Johnny gonna do, he gonna down that hill.
I meant what I said.
I feel it.
Like those you can't say. I said what I said.
Yeah. So do we to actually get into it? Do y'all want to get serious?
Intelligence one.
I'll go to it. You'll like this one. This is a little funny.
You know, recently there's been a lot of articles pointing out how men are far less emotionally intelligent than women and how that's been ruining their relationships.
Oh, yeah. You know, I always say the wife's more intelligent than me. Emotionally, of course.
You know, it's unfortunate, but it's a department that we lack in. Last week, we're at the airport. Our plane gets delayed an hour, whereas my natural instinct would be to say, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do. Brittany had the emotional intelligence to realize this is a big deal. We should be arguing with anyone who will listen, and in general, just going ballistic, regardless of whether or not it'll help.
Look, it's not about whether or not it helps.
No.
For example, say you plan an outdoor event and it begins to rain. An emotionally unintelligent person like myself might suggest some sort of alternative or contingency, or maybe we'll do it on another day, as opposed to realizing that this is in fact the end of the world and you should be flying off the handle.
You know, whether you're reading an article about COVID coming back or your Uber Eats driver brings you the wrong order, we as men do not have the emotional intelligence to realize that not only is this something we should be freaking out about, but we should also be becoming actively hostile to others who are remaining calm. You know, recently there's been a lot of articles pointing out how men...
Yeah, I think the job was
How do you feel that there's any truth in it, or is it just all funny?
Do I think that there's truth in it? I don't know. I guess I hadn't really thought through that. I think that naturally, if we just go on a baseline, probably most men are better at handling, like, say, what they were describing was like a abrupt change of an event.
Yeah, fork in the road.
Yeah. I think that.
Well, I mean, is that emotional intelligence? Well, I guess it's the idea of being able to handle emotional situations without being so emotional about the situation.
Yeah, in which so I guess, like, in honesty, like, if we was to like really try and like dissect this, they're not specifically talking about
emotional intelligence,
but it's just jokes.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that. I just wanted to see if there was a serious conversation to be had within it. So that's why I wasn't
prepped for a serious conversation.
Okay,
I just
when I saw it, I thought that was going to be a serious conversation. That's why I pointed it out.
All right, so I'll serious this out for a little bit. Can you go to the second one? You can tap out of it. All right, cool. I think that this is a good space to introduce, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the real spoke a little bit about the oppressor will have you thinking that the oppressed the terrorists, and I think that this lends its way to stepping into a little bit of that Palestine versus Israel conversation that's been happening. Are y'all familiar with what's currently happening?
Oh yeah. I will say this before we get too far into it. Violence on any side is, never the answer. It's always regrettable. And because we
I don't really agree with that.
I think violence, in any time there's death of innocent civilians, people who didn't necessarily
of innocent civilians is what you're saying.
Right. I'm saying, but like, there's people on the Israeli side, there's people on the Palestinian side that have nothing to do with the conflict that are feeling the effects, are feeling the residual effects, whether it be death, whether it's displacement or whatever, and that's always regrettable. There are, like I say, nobody's innocent in this. Like, it's not like there's some times where one side is going too far, there's times where the other side is going too far, and we're almost at a space where it's like it's been so much on both sides to where, like,
you think so?
It's the conflict is getting.
I think I have like a really, I don't know if it's super strong, but I have a strong enough opinion. But so where do you sit at on this conflict? I also think that I've heard too many times, I guess, like it's such a nuanced conversation that is not like it's almost like a deflect into actually like getting into the better part of the conversation instead of just doing the research and looking up like the history of the whole and the situation. Which
I do want to hear where you were at as far as like, or how do you see what's going as far as what's going on? Like, what exactly is going on?
Like what's happening?
Like, give us like a general description of what's going on.
All right, so are we talking about like Israel,
like in general,
Palestine?
Not necessarily your opinion, but just like in general, and then I want to hear your opinion.
So Israel and Palestine in general?
Yeah, like what's going on?
So like the basis of, all right, so I guess I give like a slight little history. So the basis of the whole Israel-Palestine war and conflict in general, some would say it dates back to maybe like 1917, 1948, or you can go further than that. It's based in the idea that during, I don't know, maybe it was like 1500, 1400, whenever the Ottoman Empire conquered that area, which is now modern day like Egypt, Palestine, Israel / Saudi Arabia, Jordan, that whole little area. So they was there maybe like 700-800 years, 900 years, however long you want to say. Jewish people lived, I guess, like they say that was their original homeland. Like that's like dating back to 2,000, 3,000 years ago or whatnot. And I guess making it really, really simple, the Palestinians lived there pretty much until 1917, which is around the end of the First World War. And during that time, there was a movement called the Zionist movement that spoke towards Jewish people coming back to the land that they feel is theirs. And them doing that, they started to migrate back to Palestine at that time. In that time frame, British was also kind of like controlling Palestine because they just won a world war. So they was allowing some immigration to it. Forward to 1948, this is the end of like World War II. And this is when the United Nations pretty much partitions, which means just splits up the land. And they give Israel 78% of the land. They give Palestine like the little chunks, pretty much West Bank and Gaza. Where the issue came at is the fact that during that time, I think that the flip of it was that the Palestinians had like a 70% like population to 30% of Jewish. But even more than that, in essence, it was just like current day colonialism, where they came back to their land just because they felt it. It wasn't like they hadn't been there for like thousands of years. They've been up in Europe, they've been in Russia and America, everywhere. It was just a movement saying that Jewish people need a home state, so we're gonna go right here. And that's pretty much the basis of the war, is the idea of if you feel like you're religiously inclined to have a space, or if you already lived here, are you like, I guess, ordained your own land that you already lived in? Is that your land that you already lived in? Or can somebody, just because they say, I think I want that couch, is their couch?
But and you know, add a little more context to that. Okay. Like the Great Britain before, excuse me, before the Balfour Declaration, where they declared that, you know, this would be the Jewish homeland in 1917. Right. They made an agreement with the Palestinians, the local Palestinians that were living there, saying that if you fight with us on the Allied side of World War I, we will give you, you know, statehood in this land that you guys already.
But I think claimed. They also like promised it to somebody else too. It might have been like Jordan or some shit. Like they just was the British was promising Palestine to everybody.
So they promised it to them. I don't know about. I have to go and do a little more research about Jordan.
Don't quote Jordan. It was one of the surrounding areas.
But I know they promised the Palestinian people that if you fight with us against the Ottoman Empire, we will give you this land. And then a year later, they switched sides with the Balfour Declaration. That goes back to and it even goes into like some of the Illuminati thing, because one of the big people that was like pushing the Zionist movement to get this was Lord Rothschild. Right. And so he was one of the big proponents, and that's why a lot of people, when you hear the Rothschild name, it goes back to the Illuminati, because like it's a very historic name. And so that had a lot to do with it, was like the betrayal, because a lot of people try to bring this conflict to religion.
Well, if you understand the Zionist movement wasn't based in religion. I think it was like primarily an atheist. Like most of the founding members were atheists.
Yes, it had nothing to do with religion, but people like use religion to market it, to sell it, to walk into the parliament or Congress or wherever the UN World Council, to walk in there and be like, based on these religious things, these people are what's it called? They're justified to take this land. It has nothing to do with religion. This is a political thing. It has a lot to do with has a lot to do with just money, power.
It has a lot to do with religion, though. That's the crazy part about it.
Not the fighting now, not the fighting.
Yeah, I believe that if I'm not
Israel's
mistaken,
claim to the land is kind of like partially where it has to do with religion.
But that's where they're using religion.
Yeah,
to
I agree.
It. Like they didn't go back just because of religion. They
and
went
if I'm
back
not
because
mistaken,
of politics.
They went back because of politics. I agree with you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was reading up on this, and I guess a lot of Jewish people don't agree with the idea of Israel in general. I know like Orthodox Jews completely denounce it. Where, if I'm not mistaken, in the Torah it says that the Jewish people shouldn't have a homeland until the Messiah comes back. It's something along those lines, and that's what it is. So the idea of Israel in itself goes against the teaching.
Yes,
and that's where we have to be careful when we start talking about like Israelis and lumping them all together.
And Zionists.
Not all of them on that side.
That's actually dope you said that point, because it's like, and then you went right to what I was thinking. It's like, because I've been guilty of that, grouping people together, where I've had to realize like, okay, we got to separate. There's hierarchies, and we mostly hear like the higher hierarchy's opinion more so than what
Israelis nasty.
Well, it's not even hierarchy. It's just like on anything how we have left and right here in America. The Israelis have left and right. The Palestinians have left and right, and so a right-leaning Palestinian might agree with some of the stuff a left-leaning Israeli person has to say, because there's
I guess like the two-state solution. That'd be the closest thing.
Yeah, but that's how you get compromised. You have to have like somebody on, like, how else are they gonna come to like an agreement there if it's not somebody on the left? Because the right-wing Israelis aren't gonna
right. But I guess so. Now let's fast forward to current day, because we're about to get into like that version of the conversation. And so I think that current day West Bank and Gaza doesn't breed for liberal thought. So if we talk about what Gaza is, it is an open air prison. It just is what it is, and it's shown it even more over the past week, because they literally cut off all food, water.
They closed the border,
internet. Well, the border has never been open. Like, so
well, to Egypt it was. They had an outgoing to Egypt. It was
okay, maybe. But
semi.
But like, if you think about what the condition of Gaza is, it's crazy. I think over half of the population is under 18, and they've never been able to leave out of Gaza. They're not allowed to leave. They've never went to Jerusalem. They've only known poverty. They've only known bombings. They've only known like high level of dense poverty.
Urban warfare, basically.
Yeah, urban warfare. So how easy is that to like convince like this is a horrible spot? And if say, I don't know, I guess I'll keep unpacking. If we look at current day West Bank, it is an apartheid state.
Settlers.
It's no way to kind of like shake it. It literally is an apartheid state. If you look at like even the idea of settlers settling in West Bank,
they shouldn't even be there.
According to international laws, it's illegal.
It's condemned by the UN.
The people that are settling in West Bank, one, what is it, IDF? They have a complete police state over anywhere that the Palestinians live, to where like they have to check in, check out. They can't go on specific streets. They can't open up shops. They can't drive on specific streets.
Well, they can't go into any of the Israeli settlements
at all. And like, it's literally an apartheid state. And so to me, when I take a step back and then I look at, say, Hamas, I can see where this doesn't justify any of like, say, like the literal things that they're doing. But I can see where that, like, what could cause them to be them.
Oh yeah,
like I can easily see that. Like, it's the living conditions of the people.
But Hamas even had a fight. Because the Palestine, the Gaza, they had their own civil war between Hamas and Fatah before Hamas took power. So
talking about the election.
Yeah, after the election. So Hamas, like, they're not all the Palestinians just agree with Hamas. It's a left right kind of thing with that situation too, where now they ended up winning the election. They ended up, winning the civil war and taking the power. But it's not something they all Palestinians just agree with, and it's not necessarily just a foregone conclusion that that's what it'll end up as. That the occupation. But Hamas kicked They kicked 8,000 Israeli settlers out of Gaza.
Well, yeah, it's only Palestinians now, but that's when the living conditions became an open air prison.
But that's when it got worse. Well, and then that's because of Israel's response. They closed a lot of those borders. They restricted movement because before people and even like recently until this latest incident, Israel was actually increasing the number of Palestinian workers they were allowing into Israel to come and work and then go back and live in Hamas. So like that's why
in Gaza.
From Gaza, yeah.
I had to look that up. I hadn't heard.
That's why that's why this was such a surprise because Israel thought like they had kind of subdued Hamas by increasing the number of work permits and like trying to work together. But Hamas has said, nah, fuck that. They was just kind of playing them and planning this attack on the low and just making them feel like, oh, we're going along with the program. So but even within that, they've had to fight to get that land, and if they're no longer there, we don't know where the population or who the next leaders could be. They could be more conservative or more steadfast.
Who are you talking about? In Gaza?
Yeah, I'm talking about if they get rid of Hamas, the next group who was leading the Palestinian people there, they could be worse.
I mean, unless they plan it. But I also think that until like whether we go human rights or like just the idea of like what is all based out of, I think another group will continue because it was PLO before then. It'll always be a group because of the disdain and the death of especially like innocent people. When you like it's so ingrained. Like we think Bloods and Crips be deep here, and it'd be hard for people not to like GDB. Not kill and different things like that. They have generations. And then again, to me, when you take a step back and look at it, I think this is what one critique I'll get in Palestine. They done got their ass kicked in every single war. It's kind of crazy. They ain't get no wins. But the reality of it still ends up being the fact that you are people that was already there. Like y'all lived there for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah.
People came to your spot, colonized it, kicked you out, and pretty much put you into an apartheid state. And
no, I get it.
Have killed you 20-1 in general. I think that when you put it like when you just do the history like that, it's going to be hard. And pretty much they infringe on any already solvent like solutions that they've had.
So and just so we and I just want to kind of bring it to a point.
Okay.
So you're saying that the occupation of Palestine is that justification for what Hamas has done?
No, I think that I understand it, and I think
okay.
I think that later my question for the actual show is there such thing as an ethical revolution?
And that's gonna be a good question. I honestly, you see, I've been quiet. I've been learning because I haven't been keeping up with the Hamas and Palestine thing at all, or the Israel. But yeah, I haven't been keeping up with it at all. So like, even just hearing, you know what I mean, this conversation, and then knowing that we're gonna talk about it now, I'm a little bit more informed of where the question came from and be able to dialogue about it. I'm looking forward to the conversation. Now, at first, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be one that I'm just lost on. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I and probably a lot of the listeners, they appreciate the breakdown that y'all just gave us because they at least gave us some context to what's going to be brought up later.
Well, you got to understand because and here's one thing, I'm trying to play devil advocate a little bit. I think we all are going to end up on the right side, but I do got to shout out Pauls with the BBC. Is because they're one of the only.
You got to do that the pre-pause on them before I even say pause, but then
like I had to, bro.
I get it.
I had to do that.
It was the safest way to go.
I had to do that one, but they're one of the only media organizations I've seen that have refused to call or to refer to Hamas as terrorists. And they stand on that because they're saying that it's not their job to put opinion on what's happening. He's saying it's their job to just report the facts. And if you think these are terrorists, then you can call them terrorists. We're not going to call them terrorists. And I think that's a very important stance that I haven't seen any of the news networks on this side of the Atlantic kind of take. And and we can maybe ask why is that, or who's running our news organizations to where they feel so inclined to ignore the past and the history of what's going on just to act like.
Well, it's easy. Mossad in Israel is our allies in military, and like we supply them with a lot of funds, and they supply us with a lot of intel.
Well, say, but if we're supplying them, we should be able to say what we want. We shouldn't be scared to talk on them if we're the one helping them.
But their military provides us with a lot of like they haven't, because I had to do this deep dive too, because I wanted to know why is Israel army so good. Like they're amazing. Like if you like really know the history, you have like
France helped them with the nukes.
Like if you
gave them all the airplanes.
Like they've not only beat Palestine every single time,
Egypt.
But what was it, 6 Day War? With it was pretty much everybody around.
They spanked everybody,
and it was outnumbered like 250 to 1 type thing.
The Yom Kippur War, that was 3 weeks. They spanked Egypt again. Like Israel. And I will say this though. I will give them this. They fought for that land. Like they have fought for that land. So I mean, they do have a little bit of a right there because they done died and shed blood for that land also.
And also Palestine, again, being fair, Palestine in that first initial like the agreement, Israel agreed to it. Palestine waged war because they didn't agree.
They didn't uphold the agreement.
Well, no, not before that. They just didn't agree with the actual like land split and all that. And there is a nuanced side where like there is said that a lot of the Israel land was like desert and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But still, to them, they didn't agree with the percentage of land. And
then basically, the population that you were saying, it was. You said the majority of them were.
It was like 9-1 Palestinians.
Yeah, it was heavy,
and they were going to get the lesser of the land.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So,
they got 22%.
I'm just being fair.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I was just being fair too. But like, and my original point was like, I'm like, our media is doing a terrible job of covering this
because we're in line with them.
But they always do a terrible job anyway. It's always a biased job
with Israel
anyway.
Like it's only like you can only say pro-Israel things. Nobody on any network in America is going to say free Palestine.
Well, that's one of the biggest issues because like they're totally ignoring, but they're totally ignoring like it's a lie. You're lying to the people if you're ignoring all that past and all that history that didn't happen and just calling these people terrorists. You're lying about the past.
This is nothing new.
I don't see them as terrorists, to be honest. I think that. Well, we'll get into it later.
I see him as war criminals. You know, there's difference between a terrorist and a war.
Well, let's get into it later because that goes directly into what the question is for the judge.
All right, so where y'all want to go at now? Well, I had to serious y'all out a little bit.
Let's not go too far. I know now I look like the a-hole for real. Now we go from that part. Now I want to get my cheesecake factory.
Gotcha. Hey, can we give a quick shout out to Lisa Mix? She dropped a couple comments, and we got a couple of y'all in here. Hit the comments. I don't know if that might have been a really dense conversation, so y'all might want to sidestep that one. But yeah, as we continue going, talk to us.
I got a good one real quick.
We didn't ask you for your good one.
Hey, we're gonna go to yours after because I know you want to go right to it. I know you want to go right to it.
I wanted to go see Dubai. The hell?
I'm gonna restart this.
And you're okay with that?
You gotta let them see it. They can't hear it. There we go.
Dang, where's the thing? Oh, my fault. I gotta refresh that. Facebook, man. Dang, it ain't even showing.
You clicked off the screen.
Okay, there we go. Nah, it's supposed to have 2 of these things here, but that's something else. There, it's fine.
That's old niggas was shitting on me for a trip to Dubai. The fuck? I wanted to go see Dubai. The hell? And you're okay with that? 1,000%. Nothing wrong. Ain't no shame in my game. I needed new highlights for the gram. Yeah, but that's not the norm. Like, why the hell? Why you boast like that? Supposed to be some type of accomplishment. I'ma tell you what I told my 5th baby daddy. I'ma always get mine, regardless. I don't care. Okay, but what if people found out that you doing that just to take a trip? It was that serious? They can take their trips their way, and I'm gonna take my trips my way with my golden showers and all. No problem with that. I don't care who I got.
None of that bothers you.
Not the slightest. Do you know how many trains got ran on me because I was hungry? I want a little bacon and cheese. Where's the shame in that? There is no shame. I got no shame. I never had shame. I don't know for what.
Wow.
Bitches be mad because they not
my
doing
hands. I'm done. That's it. Gee, what's going on?
Mad shit. No pun intended.
That's the problem.
I think it's a solution. Yes, old niggas was shitting on me for a trip to Dubai. The fuck? I wanted to go see Dubai. The hell?
And you're okay with that?
1,000%. Nothing wrong. Ain't no shame in my game. I need a new house.
Yeah, so I get what you said. Yeah, I kind of noticed that. So the reason I was sitting there, I brought that whole clip up because I did kind of notice that, and I was thinking about it when I seen it. Like, if you caught on what she said, like pretty much she was willing to do some shiesty stuff for some money to go to Dubai.
Shit.
Yeah, some nasty shit to go to Dubai. And that's what I thought about, like how much stuff do we see that goes on where people compromise themselves, like and have no shame for anything. Like,
bro, I've been saying it that we are for sale, and that is the worst thing about our society right now is that we're for sale, and that's just literally what it is.
And I hear people justify stuff all the time for the sake of money, and like it's like people be agreeing with stuff now for the sake of money. Like, yeah, it's cool if you do that.
And then if you call it out, you hating because he got money.
You're a hater.
But no, it's still dumb. It's still against any type moral, ethical, you know what I mean? Any type of real character is against anything that anybody should stand on. Just, but he got money though. All right, but I don't want to talk to you anymore. Right. This is a counterproductive kind of conversation, and you ain't trying to get nowhere. All right, but yeah, we done lost. Fuck, let's cheesecake something, bro. Like I said, I didn't watch. Have you seen this, Q?
No.
You seen this?
I've seen this.
Oh, you put it up there, so you have seen it. I haven't seen. I didn't watch the whole thing. She was really like getting on a nerve, jumping on that mud for a minute, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just set out."
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Okay.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get it on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Woo.
Let me just get the door.
Oh dang, he was more. I thought he was.
Woo.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay.
Oh no, I thought it was. Okay.
Oh yeah, it got like I got.
That's
past
a short
that part.
form video.
I had got past. You seen more than that?
No, that's the only part I've seen.
Oh
that's
yeah,
the short form.
I had got past that part.
Oh, there was more to the video?
Yeah, he talked to her.
Yeah, they actually had a conversation about it afterwards.
Oh, word? I didn't see that.
Yeah. She was explaining to him like, what you suppose, and I'm being courted. You know what I mean? So she wanted to let him make sure he knew that she was being courted, and he was supposed to give her the best, pretty much that he has to offer, and make sure that she's provided and protect, like all of these different things that, like,
chill.
You know what I mean? And he asked her, he was like, "So you believe that a man should go all out for a first date?" And then that's when she went into her whole like, "Yeah, you supposed to do this."
But on top of that, he had a different date plan. He told her to be ready at 4. He got there at 4, and she wasn't ready till like 5:30. So he had another date planned to take her to somewhere else that was better. So he was like, you have all these expectations, but you couldn't even meet the expectation of being ready in time.
What she said?
She still kept trying to push it. Yeah, book another place like that.
My thing is, for a first date, like you gotta be able to go with me to Cheesecake Factory before we can go to Steak 48. Like, if you can't do this,
first off on the first date, bro. Like, and I seen something that
you work your way up.
I think it
bro,
was,
if you can't eat with me at IHOP, I ain't taking you to dog on Steak 40. Bump that. I want the same. If I can, if I got I want my woman to dog. Hey, we can eat at IHOP together, or we can eat it dog on Roof Chris, and like it's the same deal. Like we together. Like,
yeah, I seen like dude was saying like, let's stop making dinners first dates altogether.
I seen that too.
And
well, I agree with that part. I actually don't think that So with me, I usually try and find like ways to not do like dinner on the first date,
or movies,
or movies. Yeah,
movies ain't good for a
it's not
first
really
date
like
either.
conversational based. And yeah, in which I guess maybe what was the last first date that I did would have been Optimus Hall, in which like that's like it's niche enough to where like it's a cool spot to be around. You can play it into the idea of like, I wanted to make sure you felt safe, so it's a place with a bunch of people, X, Y, Z. And it still is a conversational based space.
Yeah, especially if you go outside. You know what I mean? Once you get outside, it's not as loud. You can sit down and eat and like actually be able to hear each other. And you know what I mean? That makes much more sense to me. I ain't been in it like the dating thing in a minute, but yeah, that makes much more sense. Especially like, bro, ain't nobody gonna be spending a whole bunch of bread. And I seen something else where on the first date, some girl she ate like 40-something oysters or something like that.
But she just was like, she was trying to eat.
That's just nasty. Like you don't sit up and pig out on my dog.
Oh,
like,
right,
but I think that women probably
watch you eat 40 oysters. That's a lot.
Yeah, he bailed. Say he bailed on it.
But I also imagine that women will do that, especially like something that excessive with somebody that they don't plan on staying with. Or continue to talk to.
But like, what's the point of going and entertain? What's the point?
For food.
Yeah, what's the point? She got 48 oysters.
What I'm saying is that
free.
No, but what I'm saying is that like I get why you would do it. I get why a person would do it, but like,
she was hungry.
What type of character of a person?
Low character
is that? Like
that's low character.
Very, very low character.
That's low character. But my thing
that's
is
just reality. That's
it's
all the time.
Is the reality a low character? If it's the reality, then that means that we're the average. Well, all of the average is low character. If that's the reality,
I think like to act like high character is a thing of the people is not true. I think a lot of people, if not most people. Go ahead, Johnny. Finish.
No, you got it. You got it. Go ahead. Get it out. Go ahead. Most people what?
Oh no, I wanted. No, I about to say I don't think most people operate on like high character. Like if I just say like all the people in America, no, I think that it's a percentage of people, and that's why if you're a person of character, you stick out way more.
And my thing is gonna be, it's like if you're not willing to go to like a chain restaurant for the first date, it's like, what is your goal? Like, what are you looking for a man to like?
And by chain, like it's a difference between Wendy's, McDonald's, like
and Cheesecake Factory.
You can't go there, okay?
But
don't do that.
Like
don't do that. I think that we all know that.
Don't
that's
do Wendy's. Like, don't do Wendy's. Like, but like Cheesecake Factory, like
Cheesecake is solid.
That's man. My thing is,
I ain't mad at it, but I don't.
If that's not good enough for you, what are you looking? Because you're not. You just want to be taken care of. You don't want to. You're not trying to provide any value to anybody. If you're not even trying to like get to know me.
She is the problem.
How many times did she double down, like triple down, like looking like this?
Yeah, she kept saying. I was like, looking like.
Shorty say she can't go to Cheesecake Factory, but she wearing Sheen. Like she wearing Sheen. Like, what are we talking about?
And she been getting a good few free meals, but I ain't gonna even go there.
Say you say the muffin top popping out.
My dog body shaming.
Oh, you gonna do that to her, bro? That was whack as hell, bro.
He said that. I mean,
he body shamed.
Hey, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying all her profile pictures is from the neck up.
I be king body shame.
All I'm saying is all her profile pictures is from the neck up, bro. That's all.
I don't think she looked that. Like she did.
I'm just talking about.
I don't think if she looked over. I think if she stood up, she probably got this. She probably built like a grown woman.
It's in the face. It's in the face.
She's definitely above like what the healthy standard would be.
Oh, if you on Kevin Samuel shit, I don't care nothing about that.
What is that?
But she built like
a woman.
Kevin Samuel skill.
No, not skill.
What would you give? Kevin Samuel skill. What you give?
Like,
I'd have to see a whole body joint first.
Yeah, to me, usually when he talks about it, like what we consider as thick, as like the natural curves of a black woman, he said was not like of healthy BMI and all that shit. That's not considered healthy in general. And one of the critiques of people was that you're judging black women off of Eurocentrist, and the weight part was always a piece of that. Where,
well, I mean, but we also
to me, she don't look like she fat. She don't look like she big backed or bare built.
Rolling, but she a couple of Debbie cakes over the
eat Burger King.
She's not skinny, but she look like
she eat
Burger King. I put it like this.
Bro.
She don't look like she got that grandma.
Nah, she got some of that shit.
She definitely
she got some of that.
I think
it's in the face. It's in the face, man. It's in the face. Her face too.
I guarantee you, if we find her, she's gonna be built like a grown woman.
Well, I ain't saying, but she got that though.
All right, so by that I mean like it's like flab like this. Like
she
look like
she just far. Okay, no, ain't that much.
No, like I think that she has like a big arm. Like her arm isn't skinny, but I think it's a difference when. Like, all right, so now y'all got me by the
now you
I'll get there. I'll go. Like, listen,
you said she a big back?
No, I don't think she's big
she
back.
Ain't qualified for big.
She's not big back or bare built. But what I'm talking about is like once they like reach like a certain weight limit, like, I don't know, they might be like tipping. It's over 2, where like the arm is here and then like the meat's still a hang right here.
Yeah, that'd be.
And it started having like a stretch. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know.
That'd be that up and down weight.
It'd be a scoop, but you get up under that.
But look, she look like she built like a woman. As long as she built like a woman, I ain't mad at it.
But I mean, she was reaching though. Like she is like average looking.
Oh, of course. Well,
she was
of course.
literally going way too far on that.
I think that's what made it worse. And then she took off the shades, and I was like, that didn't help you. Like,
I mean, it's just average looking. You know what I mean? That was the only point that I was saying. Like, she was going too far. Now she's prettier than the average at best girl. Now she was below average. That was rough. Where else we going?
Hey, let me get Frank. Y'all seen Frank Ocean? It's the fourth one down.
I like it.
Fourth one down on the left.
Oh yes,
Frank Ocean.
Down.
One more. Right there on the left.
Frank Ocean, man.
Woke up just thinking about copping that spider. Walking right in and pull out with a title. Wanna lit like a lighter. Popping my shit, make these niggas don't like us. Yeah, we like disciples. On top of your roof, you can see all the snipers. Feeling me, this not a cipher. I peep their nose on my wipe. Back in New York, got me rocking my.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Hop on can't take a shopping, your money too slim. She said sloppy, got marvelous lips. Served a few bags, you know, girl, bring me cash. I don't gotta pay tax, take it high to the rim. Swerve through the dash, and that shoe hit the gas. I've been living life fast, and I love how it is. I'm broke, stingy, you know how it is. Tell me the business, we gon' get it done. Get you some straight, and they know what it is. Pop them in it, since they got a bun. You get trying to bury the kid. Don't know how much heat, all I need is some sun. Everybody think they the one. So it's best you keep you a gun. Can't like you up, but you got out of luck in your outfit and sneakers ain't nothing. It's a bad wood, I don't smoke out of Dutch, and the weed is as strong as a skunk. Cough on my cougar, yeah, she a love. Homie come over for lunch. Put in that why she blush. Woke up just thinking about.
Yeah, I say a shout out to J. Lou. That's who that is, J. Lou. He has the blonde, whatchamacallit. I really like his game a lot. They're part of like that whole little Ballers Life crew or whatever.
Oh, that's not Frank Ocean?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, you really thought that was Frank?
What I thought he was. That was the whole point.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna roll with it. My bad. I ain't
that was Frank Ocean.
That's what I thought too.
It said Frank Ocean.
No, I wouldn't know no better.
I didn't. It wasn't like it was zoomed in, bro. It was.
Holy!
I was like nostalgic ultra out here getting buckets.
That's what I thought too. I can't lie.
All right, I'll back. I don't know nothing. Keep going.
Well, now tell us who J. Lou is. Now you know.
We ain't the niggas that watch the doggone clips like that.
No, I get that. If I had known that y'all didn't know, I should have let you talk first. I was trying to give him his propers because I know you wouldn't have known his name. But if I had known that you was going to go that way, I'd just shut up and let y'all bask.
So what did he have to do with anything?
Who, J. Lou?
No,
no, he like he has the Frank Ocean.
He just looked like
Frank
Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Oh, that's what it was. He just looks like him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And never mind.
Right. That just killed the whole joint. Let's go. Just do mine real quick. Since I've been going so hard on them, I'm gonna just go ahead and end my live experience off with that first one down there.
Or this one?
Do we want to do Trump or that first one?
Let's go Big T, man. I done seen that. I done seen her little voodoo tricks down there at the bottom.
But that makeup, Satan himself, boy.
We're a lot closer than anyone knows.
Boy, they do its own thing.
We are a lot closer to World War III.
They just did their own thing there. There we go.
World War III, and we're a lot closer.
Oh yeah, 14.
To you, I will prevent World War III, and we're a lot closer than anyone knows. We are a lot closer to World War III than anyone knows, and that will be a war like no other. That will be obliteration. This isn't army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. This is weaponry like nobody can even imagine. You don't even want to talk about it. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration and begin the largest deportation operation in American history. And I will also use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries, and that will be done immediately. They want to go home. They want to go home. Horrible what they've done to children. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the heads of our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate.
Okay. So my question, see, and it was funny. I was making a joke. I had my pops hot. Old head was about hot. I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump. I said, I'm going to get me a sticker on to put on the back of my car, too. I was like, you going to ride? He was like, hell no, I'm not riding no car. You get no sticker put on that say Trump. I thought that was hilarious. We was walking to Home Depot. I literally was in tears because he was dead serious.
You gonna get a MAGA hat too?
Nah, I'm not. I'm not. I haven't been convinced yet. I don't know who I would be voting for. But what did you think about the whole critical race theory? Would you say that, which generally we end up having to pick, like you give to get something, right? So would you say that the critical race theory, would you be willing to give up critical race theory for the removal of all of the sexual whatever orientations and preference, all that stuff that's going on, but that is going on and that will be going on in the future with from the school systems?
Yep.
Would you would feel like that's a trade?
Because I don't necessarily agree with like the way critical race theory is going to be implemented anyway. So like, and I don't agree with the other side. So I like,
but is it?
I feel like it just be less problematic, and I feel like it's not the school's job to. I mean, it kind of is, but like if I don't know, I'll just say it just save a lot of hassle. It just save a lot of hassle. That's what I would put.
Gotcha. I guess I don't know how much of this is just like talking point talks.
No. So it's not about him. It's literally that was the only piece that I wanted to say.
Like, well, I guess. But a lot of Republicans, like DeSantis, is on that same. Like that's not just Trump that's like saying this. Like it's a bunch.
I get that. That's not what I was meaning. So by me saying that, like it's like boogeyman talk, where critical race theory has never been taught inside like a high school, elementary school, middle school. Like it was a like college course that maybe it was like post-grad college course for law students or something like that. It's never actually had implementation into schools. It's just like the boogeyman that's continued thrown up. Same thing. Like I don't think that they teach transgenderism and stuff like that. More or less, I guess what you would say acceptance. Maybe of like people and like I guess like the teachers sometimes be having names because teachers typically are like liberal white women. But yeah, I don't know of any time that they're taught like the pronouns and all that stuff.
So much as like being like taught it is having like you said acceptance and also the oh
well I'm for the acceptance
in the books being in the libraries where they're having like talking, you know what I mean? There's I was listening to.
So you saying this? All right, we're about to get into a crazy conversation.
No. Look, this is what I'm saying. We're still talking about these things being that when I'm talking about in the future, what it would look like. So
okay.
Would you say that it's a comfortable trade-off for critical race theory to not even regardless? So if it's going to be, let's say that both of these things will be taught at the same place in the schools, right? Let's just say that. Would you say that would be a comfortable, let's say, what do you say? You would be willing to give up one for the other. Compromise is what I was looking for.
All right. So
we're not trying to go into like what's actually happening right now. We're talking about because this is just Trump saying things. We know that these like.
All right. So in hypothetical land world, we're saying
I don't want to talk to you about it anymore. What do you think, Joe?
What you just
what do you think, Joe?
That's what
Did you get where I was going?
I got where you was
going.
Right,
But you talking? But that's where he's placing this at. Is a hypothetical land world.
Yeah,
go ahead, Joe.
You already know where I stand on it
Yeah,
as far as like as far as what they've been showing the kids in the school with some of these books and stuff. I know what you're talking about because I've actually seen some of the stuff and heard some of these parents coming out
and speaking at the town halls and all that stuff too. Go ahead.
Like they've been teaching, they took a lot of liberty, and it's not even that we always were taught about sex in school, but it's like the era that we're in now that they're introducing, like, yeah, it's going real far. Also, as far as critical race theory, I know what I think it is, and as far as how I see stuff, I don't necessarily see how. I'm trying to be careful how I say this because I don't want to be confused what I'm saying. But to some degree, I don't necessarily think I can see. Matter of fact, I can see the pros and the cons to us being.
You see pros to critical race theory. It's crazy.
No,
to me.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm not in. Go ahead. You said pros and cons. I was just.
Yeah, I said I can see pros and cons to basically where. Okay, we're still teaching about slavery and stuff in school and everything. So I can see pros to how that needs to be done, and I can see cons to what is done within our nation as far as like the stuff that's being taught. Like I can see both sides, like two sides of a coin. If explain to me what critical race theory is.
Yeah, all right. So critical race theory isn't like taking out slavery, nor is it putting in slavery into the books. That's already there. It's more so the idea of teaching like what is it? So like racial dynamics and
the
like,
accountability, basically.
Well,
right?
no, the hierarchy of it to where like oppressor, oppressed, and like
so
the weird.
I'm gonna read you the Google definition. I just lit it up. It says a set of ideas holding a racial bias is inherent in many parts of Western society, especially in its legal and social institutions, on the basis of their having been primarily designed for and implemented by white people.
Yeah, okay, so like I said, like the pretty much like teaching the racist.
So it goes back. It's pretty much encompasses everything that you're talking about.
I'm saying. So it still goes back to like slavery, Jim Crow, and all that stuff. Basically, what I'm saying when I say the pros and the cons, I can see the pros and the cons of different things. The pros of teaching this stuff is that we need to acknowledge what we've done as a country or how this country was founded. But the cons is that on both sides, like if we're just talking about black and white people and not even talking about everybody else, how it affects them. But both mentalities on both sides. You have white people who are being taught, whether they live by it or not, but they're being taught that they're better than. And then you have black kids who are being taught that they're not.
And just so I'm gonna try to please Quintel with this Q with this too. This is like a Wikipedia definition. It says critical race theory is an interdisciplinary academic field devoted to analyzing how laws, social and political movements, and media shape and are shaped by social conceptions of race and ethnicity. Does that does that feel better?
No. All right. So both definitions you gave me is saying the exact same thing and it's correct. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that teaching Jim Crow and the actual things that happened in history is not critical race theory. It's the racial dynamic part. And I don't agree with teaching that part. I agree with teaching history as it has happened, and that's not what's like on the boards, and that's not what anything deals with critical race theory. I don't agree with a white teacher teaching a black kid that because of the system and supremacy, you have less of a chance, you're less than this white person, and the pat on the back that a white kid, especially inside like a younger age, would get that, hey, you have all the advantages. And that being taught inside a school in a curriculum and how that become bastardized, I don't agree with that.
You don't feel like those things go hand in hand? You don't think that the teaching of the history is what is like the critical rate or that part of it is a byproduct of teaching the history?
Well, no, because the critical race theory part of it it gives like a justification or it legitimizes the position. If you just teach the facts, you can say that this was right, this was wrong, but critical race theory, it almost says this.
Well, it gives an opinion.
It says this is the way it's supposed to be.
This is how it is. But to me, it sounds like the the product of the history is this.
And that's what
it really sounds like.
They just put a term to this. This has already been going on. They just put a term to it in the 2000s, in the 2020s.
I'm saying when you start putting definitions, that's how people.
I'm sorry, like teaching victim mentality to black kids is crazy.
It could be flipped.
That's the only thing.
Listen, what I'm saying. They've been teaching it indirectly, whether you realize it or not.
That's what I believe.
Tell me how.
The whole
like outside of just telling me, go ahead.
Everything that we've been taught, like growing up about Jim Crow and all of this stuff, and them telling us this over and over again. Y'all was put down by white people. The whole thing that we're fighting for today, where black people are still sitting there talking about slavery, is because they still feel like they're inferior to white people, even though they're not wording it like that.
Make this real nuanced.
We haven't really, most of us haven't even taken critical race theory.
Nobody has.
Exactly, but what I'm saying is, it's still that the minds. There's still a lot of people who have that same mentality of it. You see what I'm saying? And that's purely based on. But that's purely based on what they were taught through the history.
No, all right. So
you see what I'm saying?
No, what you interpret
that a little bit.
What you take from historical events and what your parents and what like your community that you come from teach you is way different than like an actual curriculum teaching you. And again, I believe in teaching history. And there's a really big difference in putting opinions on history, even down to racial dynamics. If you take a liberal black person and a conservative black person, they view on the racial dynamics is way different. So like in itself, it becomes a liberal, possibly far left liberal perspective that unintentionally will victimize black kids.
And it's the
theory part of it. Okay, so hold on. So let me clarify, because I do want to clarify something. Like the opinion that you're saying and everything, as far as like not agreeing, I don't in the context of what you're talking about, I don't agree with critical race theory. In the context of what you're talking about, I don't agree with it. That context, but I'm also, and even in the other context, I wouldn't agree with it in any context.
But what y'all are saying is history is critical race theory.
What I'm saying, that's what I'm.
And I don't think that we ever should not teach history.
Most of the stuff that we learn indirectly. It's not something that somebody teaches you directly. Matter of fact, that same documentary I was just telling you about earlier, talking about the TV and everything, or even like let's take for instance breakfast and everything. In order to convince us to buy sausage and everything back in the day and start eating this stuff for breakfast because there was a surplus on it, they started, instead of saying, hey, we have a surplus on sausage and we want y'all to buy this stuff, they made a whole propaganda. There was a whole propaganda campaign about how breakfast was the best morning of the day, and we lived with that from like the 40s and all that stuff. This was false advertising just to promote something.
Part of that too.
Gotcha. Now bring that back.
So
into
basically,
like
what I'm saying is a lot of the stuff that we're taught indirectly under other means. So basically, where people learned that it was a balanced breakfast, that you should be eating this stuff for breakfast from, is because they wanted to sell meat. Are you getting what I'm saying? Like
no, because I think they're false equivalents. And what you're talking about is something being conditioned to you by like you said, TV. Like these are outside forces, and I agree that those things do happen. I think that in a school, only the facts should be taught. Like history as it did happen, and like none of the opinion-based things of why this did or why this didn't. Like these things happen. These are the provable.
Okay, so I agree with you in that, but in that same context, can you not see how the way that we've been taught history, even like how we grew up, take not even just think about
and we're talking
how we
history
grew up in
school
and how we learned stuff.
Okay.
Can you not see how that is affected different? Like even myself, you can't see how that is there's an effect of how you think about the world. Like within our generation, like let's take for instance code switching. Most of our generation knows how to code switch. Why do we do that? Because we feel like something wrong. Like we feel like when we get in front of these white people, we got to change up the voice in order to fit in because they run the world.
But
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's taught in the curriculum.
But like what you're saying, how like just teaching the facts could already lead to people feeling like that there's a group that feels like the oppressors, there's a group that feels like the oppressed. Just off teaching the facts, you're saying we can already deduce that. Now say that you get to actually teach that these are the oppressors and then these are the oppressed people. What does that then do to those people? And then how could somebody, let's say, with the ulterior motive, take that,
whether right or left,
right or left, and then use it to make the people who actually are the oppressed feel even worse and feel even more?
I'm gonna give you a quick example
about this situation.
I'm gonna give you a quick example here. We were like, just take for instance, black people. We want to talk about black people in America, and like before it was America, and even all of that. We were enslaved by more than white people. there was other people who had, and there were other people who were enslaved here too. We don't hear those stories. We get told over and over again about us being in slavery. We don't hear about how the Palestinians had people like, or the Arabs had people in slavery. We don't hear about the Mexicans who had people in slavery, or the Mexicans being in slavery. We don't hear about those stories. We don't get taught that in American history. We get constantly taught y'all was the lowest, we was the highest. There's a curriculum that is being purposely put out that, like, and this is proven because you like our book, most of our books was from Macmillan, McGraw, something like that. Okay. These are the. What I'm saying is that basically a lot of the stuff that we learn is subconsciously taught, whether you realize it or not. A lot of the mindset that is a result today.
I had already had my hand up a minute ago. Let me just get mine in real quick. It's not going to be long. So let me. So would you remember when they was talking about the school books in Texas? They were removing the word slave and replacing it with like worker.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
And so to me, like, this is like all from the removal of the idea of critical race theory. I think that this is they're like labeling it like critical race theory, but these are like the minor. These are like products of this change that they're looking to try to make.
But that pushes closer to critical race theory.
And what I'm saying is, how for them to remove
because of like,
it's just the idea of the
you're changing history, and it's like you're putting opinions on history instead of teaching just the facts. And that's my thing.
I don't know if that's
like if you're saying that a slave is a worker, that now is putting an opinion.
Okay, so
on history.
So
now you're calling them.
It's not there.
So it's teaching facts, but not including all the facts, not the same. Like
this is my thing. So
I mean, it was called
I got
slavery.
a question because the question I have now is
it wasn't working.
The question that I have now that we've kind of gone through it is: do you think based on are you saying? And I don't know where I was standing on it, but were we saying it like pretty much the removal of like the, let's say that part of history period should
no
happen?
I don't think that should, I don't think should be removed. I think we need to talk. I think we need to teach facts, but we need to teach all of the facts. Like we need to actually learn. There are some things I think that have been fabricated with the purpose of instilling that lesser than inferior complex.
I agree with you. I definitely believe.
I don't think that anybody is going to disagree with that. I think my stance is just teach the facts. Whatever is a provable fact, that should be taught.
Oh, I agree.
We're just arguing about the effects and how we think critical race theory.
But that's why I don't agree with critical race theory at all.
Oh, and that's why I wanted to clarify. I don't agree with critical race theory. It was more so the discussion we was having was about whether this still is a thing that's being taught subconsciously too.
And my initial joint was whether you felt okay with allowing the removal of critical race theory, which you already don't like it anyway.
Yeah,
and then for the whole them removing the, all of
that's why in like hypothetical land world, you said
hypothetical land world, hypothetical.
I had to like if I was to try and answer it because like when
I don't want your answer. I was just saying.
Well, I want to answer it now, but I disagree with both of them, and so it's like I'm like, what am I choosing from? And I don't think either one of them happened. So it's like I don't know. It's like a weird thing. Like choosing, should they teach racial dynamics or teach like crazy sexual dynamics? Both of them would have like a really weird impact on society.
And I think we could
land it there.
All agree on that. I think we'll go ahead and land the plane there before we, for somebody jump off a cliff. I think we'll just go ahead
hang gliding,
reel that back in.
So we're going to next, Johnny.
I think we got a few questions.
Okay.
We're gonna toss around, see where we get to.
Oh yeah, we're going straight into the show part now, right?
Yeah. What do y'all how we rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors it up.
Second time.
Rock, paper, control album. All right, let's go.
Y'all got me up.
Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Nah, you gotta lose though.
Nah, not at all. Rock, paper, scissors.
You trash.
All right, so you starting this off, or what's the order? What we doing?
I want I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna do me. Yeah, Johnny, you last again, bro.
I know it. I mean, I ain't even surprised.
Yeah, you
I'm
last
not even
again, bro.
surprised.
All right, well, let's
As
have
a matter
it.
of fact, yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it. So my question for the week, and let me make sure I'm gonna say make sure I get it right. Pull out the old handy dandy notes. Okay, so my question is: do y'all believe that the state of women is a byproduct of men in our behaviors? And so where I came to this is like we as men like have a lot of negativity and a lot of criticism at this point, which and then I'm not saying it's warranted or unwarranted, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of criticism that's going around, and I know I got my part, and even like off of the pod, like talking with the homies, we go talk, we all vent to each other, and we have a lot of critiques for women at this point. And I got to thinking, you know what I mean, and I'm sitting there like, dang, I know some dudes that like they done scarred some women. I know a lot of dudes that done scarred women, and that of course that lived experience will be experienced by another man down the line. You know what I mean? So I was just wondering, like, what do you think about that? Do you think that the state that they are in or the mentality that they have now is, and of course this is a generalization. Not everybody doesn't fit in this idea or whatever idea. Do you think that is a byproduct of our actions and what we said we liked it, and do you think that is a thing?
I do. Because I mean, if you're gonna go by, like biblical terms, religious terms, I think the man is the leader, or supposed to be like a spiritual leader in the house. And so I think when they used to target the black slit, like the men, like if you take the men out and you put us on a bad path, I think the rest of the community is just going to follow. And I think the state of our community is just a reflection of where men, have been. I don't think it's a current reflection. I think this always like a couple years later that like if you got like a bad generation of dudes, then 5-10 years later you'll see that reflect in the women of that community, and vice versa. So I do think like a lot of the women that we're seeing now is based on like how the dudes were acting in the early 2000s, the old, back in high school, and how we used to just be real reckless with just the approach to dealing with women. I think you're seeing it reflecting how women are now treating and approaching guys. So I would say I don't know if it's 100% our fault, but we definitely played a part in getting us to where we are now, for sure.
I actually been waiting for this conversation for a minute because I've thought about this for a while. Like
go crazy.
Yeah, I thought about this for a minute, man. But I've kind of maintained this for a while that I think like regardless whether people want to admit it or not, there's certain things that are just true and they are what they are. And I think one of those things is that men are the leader, whether we're leading to worse or better. So I think like one of the things that I was thinking about was like, okay, like around the time, even I was thinking about this around the time Nicki Minaj came out, even like but just thinking about like how that transition of music happened. You had this transition of music, and it was one day that I was sitting there. It occurred to me that before we got these artists, there was men that was pushing the women to make this kind of music, and even the music that they was like the stuff that we was talking about within the music. We went from like in the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s talking about loving women and everything to like the 90s it went to you got a whole bunch of bees and hoes, like, and not that this stuff that it didn't exist on the underground circuit, but I'm saying majority of what you heard was not disrespect. Like it was a lot of love that was going on in like the 70s, 80s, even early 90s. Then it transitioned to this whole thing of I got hoes in different area codes and further than like just that whole era of music and everything, and it was fun, but there was also
the music.
I'm not just blaming music, but I'm saying
music played a part though.
Music played a part. TV played a part.
Hold on. My bad. Go ahead. This is your get yours off real quick.
Like music play a part, TV play a part. All of like the propaganda plays a part in how we end up conducting ourselves, whether we admit it or not. There are people who are purposely funding this stuff for the purpose of okay, because we see how this affects in other areas. So what I'm saying is like what ended up happening, you had a whole bunch of men who was pushing women to do, like, we was glorifying these women.
Mm-hmm.
We was glorifying the hoes. We was glorifying the women who was about doing promiscuous things. We was glorifying the women who's at the clubs doing, like, in order for a woman to be virtuous, she's not going to be able to be amongst all of these guys all the time. You're not going to really find a virtuous woman amongst that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But a lot of it has to do with like our actions too, because like
I think it all got to do with our actions.
Like outside of the music, the movies and all of that, it was actually dudes in them clubs cheating on or doing whatever and like leaving the good girl alone. Like even I was a victim of it back in the day. You leave a good girl alone for like the girl that was gonna bust it open for you.
You said you was a victim of it?
Oh yeah, I was
a victim. It was mind control.
I see how you tried to get off on that one.
That's
mind control propaganda.
Like I was a victim. Like
hey, now, I want to get this quick little like interject. I think this is the perfect time. I think this goes to the Drake Joe Budden thing real quick, where like a piece of the little pie was talking about how Joe Budden, like Drake, be dating 25-year-olds and stuff like that. That was a part of the thing that went viral. And Joe Budden came under fire a little bit because, you know, Joe Budden's he'll date a 25-year-old. Like that used to be like one of his little bags. And what ended up happening is that well, not ended up happening, but he was on his podcast and he was answering the criticism of it, right? And he said, you know what? I might not have been the person to tell you not to date a 25-year-old. But back when I was dating 25-year-olds, it was toxic shit happening. Gaslighting. I was playing games. I was doing all, like, he was like, you. And then he started pushing play on all the songs. They got you out here bad. They got you out here mad on vacation. You out here crying in the club because she doing this. She taking photos with this. You complaining about it. At least we was exploiting. That was pretty much his idea of it. No. Going to him and being victimized of being a fuck nigga. Go ahead.
I mean, that's what it was, man. They had all the, you know, all the rappers with their pants sagging and all the vulgar language in the music.
He really playing victim. But you know something too that's also crazy is that like even when we talk about like the music where the most of the like a lot of that female more dominating and masculine sounding music that it's written by men. Most of that stuff is written by men, and then just think about we take it all the way back.
So you saying women
we take it all the way back to if we take it all the way back to like where we heard a lot of the stories about how our mothers and grandparents were treated. You know what I mean? How that to do with your grandmother was probably, well, we all thought our grandmothers was the ones in the right the whole time. But let's just say that she was, you know what I mean, cool and, you know, collected. And he was, you know, tricking, going and getting another little side piece that was in the streets, running the streets.
At the gamble house.
You know what I mean? So it's literally like we have co-signed the behavior for a long time. We've co-signed the behavior and now they're pretty much just saying, fuck it, we're going to take behavior that the men that we won't have wanted the entire time.
Well,
so there is us, and that's what I kind of thought about. I was like, there is a good bit of blame that we have to wear for it. Even though, like I said, there's critiques. You know what I mean? There are critiques to be said, but like we definitely have. And I'm speaking this when I say we, of course, we're making a generalization as we are the topic in its entirety. But there's a good bit of even like you know what I mean. What I would say like the toxic masculinity, John, when you're younger is like. Get as many as you can.
Yep.
Get as many as you can, and amongst your boys, you ain't doing nothing if you ain't got as many as you can get.
But let me ask you this:
more than you can get.
Did you fall victim to that?
Yeah, I was a victim.
Oh,
he was a victim.
I was a victim too.
Victims.
Yeah, I was a victim too.
We all was victims.
That's what I'm saying.
I was just standing up for the victims.
We. You ain't hear me. We. We.
I just was asking questions.
I just stood out there. I stepped up first.
What we do
for all the fuckboy victims out there, but I will be a voice.
What we do is let's just
an advocate.
Hey, throw the blame up one generation. Just keep throwing it up a generation. Yeah, we just products of what they was doing.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing, like even we talking about the Will and Jada thing, like it goes back to like I could even like wrap this into this as far as like how like when we bring that into the context of like our grandparents and like today's women like have a chance to like have an opportunity to do stuff that like our grandmothers couldn't, and they're just taking advantage of it just based on them feeling, neglected, betrayed for years, and then now they're like, well, I have the opportunity to do this, and like if it was the other way around, why should I take their feelings into account if my feelings were never taken into account? And that's how you get, somebody like a Jada. And like and when you say
you saying Tupac was doing her crazy?
No, Will. Or I don't know who was doing her crazy.
Will was doing her crazy? I thought she was doing Will crazy. And that was a byproduct.
Well, it probably was Tupac. And then but what I was gonna say,
they love the fuck nigga.
But what I was gonna say though,
they be the good guy,
like these women that we're complaining about, there's always somebody like running behind them that's like in love with that shit. Like even like a Jada. Will went up there and like no matter how bad she did him, you say one little corny joke about it, he'll smack you in the face
on live
TV in front of millions of people. So like that behavior is still being like rewarded, or they have a justification to continue doing that because there's always a dude that's gonna be there making it seem right or riding for that behavior. Will like, and so that's why I think it is, no matter how you look at it, it's always kind of a product of our behavior, our encouragement or support, of what they're doing.
To answer the question, I would say, I guess yes. I think typically, well, I'll speak directly to the question first. I say yes, because I think it comes down to simply we either accept bad behavior or we're forcing bad behavior. That can be seen in the sense of like we dislike the independent woman, like moniker, but it comes from something. That was a forced thing. We say that we don't like these specific, whether it's like dotting around or the eyelashes or makeup or whatever. But if you accept a certain level of that behavior as a group in general, that behavior is going to continue to go and be. But I also say I think that this is just like an either or.
I don't think we should do. Let's not go into the other side of it. This was I wanted this to be strictly about our accountability to what we have kind of created. I don't want to flip it. I know it's easy. We could flip it the other way. Is that what you were going to do? We could flip it.
Well,
the other
yeah,
way
I was about to say like
I know we know it goes both, but
you
I don't
accept
want to go
niggas that's trapping.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way. I want to keep it on us.
But go ahead.
Keep it on us.
Yeah, we
done gave you done body shamed the old girl earlier. And
I ain't body shamed nobody.
Body shamed her earlier. You know what I mean? Let's not go back to it.
Hey, bro, I ain't even body shamed. I just said she don't miss no yams, bro. She don't miss no mac and cheese. That's all I said.
I don't miss no mac and cheese either.
Not missing no mac and cheese.
Unless it's in the box. Unless it's out the box. I miss that nowadays as a grown. I miss that.
The out the box mac and cheese?
Yeah, the little box where it's got the cheese.
You don't like
sauce.
the out the box?
I'm cool. I'm cool on it now.
I'll miss that. I see what he's saying. I'll skip a Velveeta joint like every now.
Are y'all saying y'all don't miss it or y'all miss it?
We say we will miss the meal.
We'll skip it. We'll be all right on it.
Like you saying somebody never missed no meals. We say we'll miss that meal.
Oh, okay, all right. Then we're all together.
The baked mac, yeah, I'm not missing that mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, y'all don't rock with the Velveeta.
Man, I miss it.
Oh, Tone was.
I fix the Velveeta. I go in the store and get the dollar, bro.
Bro got a box at the crib right now.
Not right this second. I just go get it when I need it. But I get that Velveeta, throw some doggone sharp cheddar in there.
You know what's the problem with the Velveeta? It's not even. It's the noodles. I don't like the little.
Oh, you must be boiling them too long.
Well, no, I don't like the smaller noodles. They got the smaller noodles in the Velveeta. I don't really like. I like the big chunky joint.
Shoot, I like the crab too. That used to be a good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. I honestly,
I prefer baked, but I don't discriminate against the doggone box.
Yeah, this place
say mac and cheese meat.
But I guess like if we circle it back to it, I don't know. Like I said, I think that either we condone behavior, allow behavior, or force behavior as a sex, as men. And if you want change, like you kind of hold the key to that depending on what you actually accept, or you make sure that you don't force or allow.
So what would you say behaviors guys should do if we wanted to change the behaviors of the women? What would that look like?
Buddy.
That looks like what a real
behavior
man looks like today.
I'll start with Jeremy.
It's funny because that kind of goes into like, remember I asked this, I think somebody had some smoke for me when we didn't actually go into it. It was like, do you think that indecent women should be treated differently than decent women? And somebody had smoke for that, but I literally, this kind of where we are now, at least in my mind, that the only way that we would have to only provide the benefit to the answer to the, you know what I mean?
You should only be chivalrous to some women,
to the productive side of it. Because if we are to give the other side of it any attention, then it's still going to just lag itself on and on and on and on. So you would literally have to remove that from your preference. Your preference would literally have to be recreated, in my opinion.
I guess I don't necessarily go that route. I think that if we become better men, we have the ability to require better women.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of simple as that. 100%. Where again, if we're not making single mothers and we're staying with our kids, and we're like, that becomes a issue that is solved.
Yeah, I can't go
if you don't rough. If there's no male accountability to single motherhood, I guess it's tough to me, because we do choose the woman, we do take the condom off, we do like we control all these parts. We're mating with that person, but then that goes to like, what kind of woman are you choosing, and what things do you actually allow that, like, I guess it's a tough word to use, but like the person, no, it's not a tough word, because of when the person that you end up dating is a person that meets certain standards, and those are the standards that you allowed it to be.
Well, I mean, that would be like
saying, if you drop off anybody, then you they should be of a certain. And my thing is,
no, like you just don't reward certain shit, like.
But my thing is that what age is
or
that?
talking to him, or in general,
it would be something that had to be taught at a younger age, because like. It would be something that would have to be taught at a younger age, because the matured mind can make that decision and understand the vetting process as a matured man. But like before you were this matured man, you done definitely went and done some things with some people that you wouldn't dare touch today.
But but that's what I'm saying, like, because the only solution is going to be like in like a very optimistic world where like men is going to have like a trans. I don't think that like this world's about to happen or anything.
Oh yeah,
like
we know that's
and that's what I'm saying. Like we're and yes, Tone.
I was about to say, I was agreeing with you. It would take a value in men's, like men would have to change the value, what they value, and it's the same thing that already happened. It's kind of like the reverse of what we already seen happen. Because like you look back at the 60s, they value different things, and the women conducted themselves differently because of what those men value.
My thing
it was quality over quantity. Where now guys care about like how many joints you get.
They still had some quantity, but it was like you was considered a certain way. Like it was the standard that you was looked at a certain way. If you was dressed like this, or if you was carrying yourself like this, there was certain standards that was like shameful.
Where did
the thing is that come from? Whatever other sex,
where did them standards come from?
I do wonder where them standards came from. I would say
which standards come from?
Basically like some of the standards in the past, as far as I would definitely say it was the church.
It was definitely the church house, bro.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
It was the church house.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm gonna say y'all got it all out.
I'm good.
Oh, was that thing?
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Well then, if that's the case, I'll go ahead and put a pin on it. And we'll.
All right, so I got one. Whatever.
I don't know what he's laughing at, bro. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. He is
all right, bro. My bad. Go ahead. Q.
Bro.
This man here, bro. We doing something different. I get it. I see. I understand. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to save him from an awkward transition.
I'm working through it. I don't know what Rail got going on.
Yeah, Q had went into a smooth, but Rail just messed it up.
Hey, this is funny, bro. Because you gotta catch the way he be looking when it happens. He always looking at me.
Well, we know if it's
I gotta stop that too.
If it's one thing for sure, Johnny is not a freestyler. I tried him at like the parties. He didn't want to freestyle. When it comes down to just figuring out new ways to end things.
I gotta have this shit up here first.
All right. So my question for the day is there a such thing as a ethical revolution? This draws to the current conflict inside the Middle East between Palestine and Israel. And I think that it's interesting, and this is an interesting like perspective that I haven't really seen unpacked or talked about, where I think that there are clear parallels to both sides for Black people. And I think that what we are seeing over there, either way that you look at it, we've either seen a ethical, unethical revolution, or we're looking at what could be said one right now. If I draw the lines really quickly, if we speak Palestine, this is an oppressed people in which have lived under a certain level of oppression, apartheid, and almost like just systematic oppression. We'll just put it like that, for decades. And like they've kind of seen that. That is a very, very reminiscent story of a lot of things that have happened over the past like 100 years here inside America, and a lot of relatable senses. If we look at Israel, I think that a common point that you hear about Black people in general is the fact that us as Black people, we don't have a homeland. Mm-hmm. We don't have a state. And
give us one.
And we've spoke about this, and as a matter of fact, I think Johnny at one point was advocating for a Black state. Mm-hmm. But like what you can say is that the Jewish people did get together and make a state for themselves in which they can have sovereignty, rule themselves as they seem fit. And again, like they made it happen.
I saw this on PragerU. I saw that they were the only people to get expelled from their homeland that were able to successfully come back and create statehood. I don't know if it's true because it was PragerU, and so I don't know.
Well, but I was also about to say, well, Johnny's listening to PragerU, so that's funny in itself. Right? And what's Prager? Well, we ain't gonna get to Prager in general, but PragerU is a right, a far right leaning media educational space.
I don't even know what to call it,
but all right. So yeah. So again, bringing it to it, where in current day, what we see on the ground is Hamas, and what they are fighting for is an actual revolution. There's a saying, peace, no peace, or is it peace after revolution? Where the revolution, if you actually want a revolution, is not going, in my opinion, is not going to be pretty. And then that comes into the idea of do we as Black folk and do people in general actually want a revolution, or is it some shit that sounds good? I'll toss it up to y'all.
Well, you said something about ethical revolution, and I do think there can be ethical.
An ethical revolution.
I do think that is a thing, because like,
has that ever happened in history?
I mean, you could say the civil rights movement wasn't unethical.
You said wasn't unethical.
Yeah. The civil rights movement here in America, like it was peaceful. It was all about peace.
Was that an actual revolution?
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely a revolution.
A revolution. All right, so by what means do you say that was a revolution?
Oh no, that's a little strong of a.
Okay, well, what do you define revolution? Because I mean, it was a major
revolution. Is like turning a thing on its head.
Yeah, like they just stopped whooping our ass as much. And the president is as much. That's like the only thing that.
Yeah, like not just whoop your ass in a different way. We ain't gonna physically beat you no more. We gonna lock you up and then
bars.
You know, at first when Johnny said, I was like, oh shit, but then I had to like let it sink in for a little bit. But go ahead. Keep
well, that's why I was nervous about saying it, because I don't think it was the most efficient.
I'm glad you.
I don't think, but I had to say it though. I jumped out there. But see, that's the thing about, you got to know it's chess, not checkers. You got to know where people might go when you say something. So I mean, I kind of figured you might say that. I mean, it wasn't the most effective revolution by far. I mean, look at Black people before and after. So I mean, but it's still, I think a revolution could just be anything where it's just like a revolutionary change in like a mentality of a people over time. And I think if it happens that way, I don't see why it would be unethical.
So is that like just saying? So does that ever happen? When has there ever been a revolution without bloodshed? I think Malcolm X has a speech that is that's named that, where he literally said that there's never been a revolution without bloodshed.
I mean, I'd have to. I'm going through the history. I'm going through the history,
and I guess if we
maybe the fall of the Soviet Union, because there was a revolution where they came and they destroyed, and it wasn't a war or anything that went on with it. It was just a will of the people to want to separate from the Soviet Union back in 1991. So I mean,
you said they destroyed.
Is that
whether they broke up the Soviet? They broke up the Soviet Union. And so these countries became.
So this was Cold War time.
Yeah, the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War.
So I mean, there wasn't no war. I mean, that was the whole thing. Because if we would have went to war, it would have been nuclear, Armageddon. And so they broke up the Soviet Union without like bloodshed. So I'm saying, I'd have to go and do research to go and give a specific example. But I'm saying I do think it is possible. And especially in today's world with the technology that we have, I think it's even more possible in today's world. Now, has it happened? Like I said, I'd have to go do research, but I definitely do think there is a way that you can have a.
All right, and I'm gonna ask you to follow up because I don't know, maybe real will agree or disagree, but so how does the Black person revolution happen
ethically? Well, we start holding our communities way more accountable towards one another. I think our revolution could be super ethical because we don't have to kill nobody for our revolution. There don't have to be no bloodshed for Black people to have a revolution. Another one in this country. I think
another one.
Or have one. I ain't
know if you singing your feet in that. Maybe it was a different one.
But I don't think if Black people decided to come together and collectively, group economics and starting to, root out violence in our community, I don't see how that will lead to bloodshed.
What happened if they just drop a bomb?
We talking about ethical. They might have to be a little bloodshed, but that don't make it unethical.
I'm not gonna front. You just said something that kind of made me think of something. I think we possibly could have an ethical revolution as Black people in the form of like the Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah, you kind of pulled me over to that too. I think as because it doesn't really take anything. It only takes us.
We don't have to go to war.
Need us to to get on the same page. It just
right.
But so for y'all, what would a Black revolution look like?
Like the Harlem Renaissance. I was saying it for a reason. Like the Harlem Renaissance was basically just a whole lot of Black people. Like it wasn't just an organized thing, but it was a mentality shift. It was a mentality shift. And you had a whole bunch of people who was putting out all this different artwork and everything just because of their mentality. And that in turn led to a whole thing that we know as the Harlem Renaissance now. I think that type of mentality.
Yeah, it's just like it's a pool of it's a financial agreement. It's a social financial agreement. You know what I mean? That we would have to
collectivism.
It's all about just collection. Collection and accountability would be the two main things that it would take, or the only two things it would take for us to actually do it. We wouldn't need no help from. You know what I mean? It wouldn't. It would.
Okay,
it could definitely be. It could definitely be ethical. It could definitely be ethical.
I guess I'm trying to understand
of that happening.
I think we're framing revolution in two different terms. Now I'll go back to
but I said that just sounds like Black people doing better in America.
But I think that would be a revolution for us. That would be a revolution for us. That would be revolutionary. It would. You can't say it wouldn't be revolutionary. It might not be quote unquote a revolution because we're not going to war, dropping bombs. But it is.
But I don't know. I don't think that's
that way either. That's why I say
that's necessary. I think it's again. I think that what y'all just kind of spoke to was more or less Black people doing better inside the system that already exists. Typically, in a revolution, there is a changing of whether it's the way people are governed. People's systematic space within a place, a culture in general. You can go into the ways of governance. That's typically where a revolution happens, where the bottom becomes the top and the top becomes the bottom, or there's a changing of guard in general. Do y'all think that
that ain't
black people in America not just doing better inside a capitalistic country? Can is there a time where black people can be the top of the hierarchy?
I don't know about the top, but I still go with the same thing that I was saying. Like, as far as being revolutionary, for it to be a revolution, there has to be a change in mindset that a whole bunch of people adopt to. And that's with anything. Anybody who gets stuff within this country, or who like groups of people that have gotten stuff, is because there's an adaptation of an idea amongst that group of people that is heavily like, nah, this is what we're doing, so we demand this.
I'm sorry. Well, the definition of revolution, go ahead and just puts what we talking about to bed. It says a forcible overthrow of government or social order in a favor of a new system.
I mean, that
forcible automatically means that it's not going to be as ethical
one definition, though.
But that makes sense to me based on what my understanding of revolution.
So to me, it sounds like y'all talking about
different.
It sounds like y'all talking about assimilating better into the capitalistic society.
I'm not even talking about assimilating. I'm talking about if you haven't, say there's an idea that black people wanted that's not being utilized.
You have to use specific.
Okay, examples. so if we was fighting for say we wanted the same anti-racism bill that the Asians got. If black people was actually grouped together in a group,
but that's not a revolution, though.
I'm just using this as an example, though. Okay. If we was actually in a group think about that actual idea, and we wanted this to guide towards whatever plan we got for a revolution, say this is part of the plan, because you would have to have a plan, but it's just changing different things. So if there is a great big group of black people, that this is the heavy mentality being pushed amongst black people, eventually other black people are going to pick up on it, especially if it's put out the right way.
It's called a social revolution. I guess I just looked it up, and I guess a social revolution can be ethical. It's usually always ethical.
Give us the definition of the social.
The social one is a social revolution is a fundamental change in society. It involves a shift in power in a society. Revolutions occur when a number of people in society feel discontent with the current order and agree that change is necessary. So I mean, there's nothing really
explain the part about the power to unhinge the power structure would be.
But it's about the mentality shift.
It's about the mentality shift,
and it also talks about social establishments, not necessarily always government. So it could be a change, and we were listening to CNN, Fox News, and these traditional media sources. Now they're no longer relevant because we have had a social revolution, and we understand what the news is currently doing and how they're manipulating us, and a move from traditional news.
So
could be a social revolution.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of throwing me a little bit. So what this sounds like is that so for black people, the idea of a revolution gets dumbed down to what you just called a social revolution, which means that instead of having CNN, we're gonna watch BET.
I didn't say that, but
what are we talking about?
Clarification. Hold on. Clarification was your question. Your question was about, is it possible to have an ethical revolution?
That's all I was trying to answer.
We talk about possibility.
But my thing is that look at how low the hanging fruit comes down to. If you're saying changing news sources is uphinging power in itself and flipping those things, I think that's such a low bar.
But I'm saying
when we have an actual revolution conversation.
But we're we're in a great opportunity that we're not in Palestine. We don't have to do that. They have to go through a totally different revolution to get them where they want to be than we have to go through here. We're in a privileged position also. And you do have to recognize that when I'm talking about these revolutions, we are in a place where we don't have to worry about a lot of the things most of the world has to worry
I
about.
asked again, what does the Black Revolution look like?
I just fucking
so my bad. Explain it better to me than what you just said. That's just sounded like either assimilating to capitalistic society and just making sure we do that better, or making sure that we don't look like CNN covers us more fairly. That's not a revolution.
But not even
if that's what you, my bad. Go ahead.
I mean, okay. I mean, if you
if that's what you explain,
is revolution war every time? I mean,
no.
If
how
you're
is that
about
changing the system or higher the lower levels space in the hierarchy.
Okay,
like none of that sounds
a
like
move
that.
away from the black church would be revolutionary for black people. Because that's one of the biggest one of the biggest things that ties us to the oppressive state. Like, so I mean, there's a lot of ethical ways
I don't agree with that because the majority it ain't nowhere near like it used to be. So the majority of us have moved away from the church, and I don't really think that that's done us no grand justice in doing it either. So I'm gonna have to give you pushback there. We ain't done no great job ever since getting away with it. It ain't so great of a community. Anything what's better in our community? What's better since we got away from the church?
But Quentin always talks about how crime is down. I mean,
no. That ain't got nothing to do with getting from the church.
Black ownership, black people are doing better.
What benefits do you think that black people got from getting away from the church?
We're no longer tied to. Well, we still vote a certain way, but I think we're no longer tied to like just ethicals, like especially like when we talk about our grandmothers and just staying in relationships just because you made a vow to God. I think a lot of women have improved their situations by like no longer adhering to what the church would, you know.
And you think that's gotten us into a better place that because we?
Well, I think black people are doing better than they ever have in history.
I'm not debating that part. What I'm saying is, but we're talking about a direct relation to the church house. What has been the benefits to black people from leaving the church house? Is what I said.
I guess I ain't really want to get into this, but if we're just simply saying that black people, and these are your words because I haven't did the research on it, but you said right now most black people have gotten away from the church house, but then you also just said black people are doing better than they ever have. That will kind of like lend themselves together.
Yeah, but I don't think that. I think that when you say doing better than they ever have, we're just talking about money.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking. Like when I think better than we ever have, we're just talking about money. But I don't think that. I think that us socially, as any type of moral, any type of thing that we're going to stand on and say that we want to build the community based on, it's gotten worse.
Then the crack era,
the church house.
Then the crack era. Then 90s.
Then 90s what?
During so the crack era wasn't just the 80s. It was also.
But I mean, see, I'm
trying to understand where
you're talking about. Is weird, but I get what you're saying.
No, you're saying we're doing.
We are doing better. I mean, we are doing worse ethically than we were doing. Even I would say.
All right, and is that only by like say like your Christian standards, or is that like in general? Because if you're doing better, but we're also doing worse.
No, we just making more money. We're just making more money.
But so where are we doing worse? That's not like subjective morality.
So do you believe that? I want to say what is doing? It's not subjective. I mean, so are we going to say that morality is based in itself? Let's say the idea of not let's say even just not being for sale, having a oneness to each other. Is that subjective morality? Like having more of a community, being able to trust your word, being able to trust each other better, being able to you know what I mean? These community building ideas, is that just, you know what I mean? Or is that just like a based in subject, like you could subjectively say the more we get to putting our women on the TV shaking ass and doing all of these things, and we're like giving them a pat on the back for doing it, is that still subjective morality? That I think that if somebody.
Well, the subjective part would be that like you morally feel that is like really like that's wrong.
So basically, you shouldn't have no morals.
Well, I think that we did deny. I don't even want to have a conversation because I get what you're saying, but it's just like to me, it's a conversation to have.
And honestly, I feel like we've missed the boat a little bit.
We have missed the boat.
Well, that's what I said. Because I knew with it, it's what specifically.
I don't feel. I think when you take the moral compass out of it, that's where it becomes like a. What are we talking about then?
Yeah, if morality is, if all moral is subjective, then it's just, and that means the conversation definitely ain't got legs.
Gotcha. Because what I would say is that like the most successful people in the country, because it sounded like we was talking about like doing well in this country in general at first. Those ain't people of moral. of morality.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to get into that conversation because I don't think that's necessarily always the right thing either. Because like we look at the person, most of the people who are not doing well, like if you look at any, just for example, even if you look at the movies, most of the villains in the movies are billionaires. So like just sitting there and keeping thinking like that because somebody is successful that they have good moral character, or that or that we should like ascribe to their moral status. Like that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't be looking at people's moral. Like I don't know, man. That just went somewhere.
I'm just so if we're saying,
if we just sitting there looking at success
take
in the
it back
terms
to
of
where it
yeah,
actually
we
came
should be
from.
dirty.
Like it was speaking from a comparison point. It was speaking about black people doing better than they ever had. And that in comparison, obviously, to the hierarchy that exists in general. That's where that came from. Because of like if we're comparing ourselves, there is a comparison point. And that's where I also went into the idea of morality, because that's the only other way you can go. Either you're speaking of comparison to the dominant society or to a moral good. But then everybody has to agree on the moral good. And those are the only two ways the conversation can go.
So
and that's what I mean.
Talking about getting better is money. That's I don't know, man.
Right. No, I mean, again, like that, to me, I think living standards in itself, like socioeconomic living standards and the things that we judge first, second, third world from.
Money.
Oh, okay, listen, you could be the most moral person, and if you live
fellas, look, I don't think we're gonna finish that one today. I don't think we're gonna finish that one today. That might be a to be continued. So I ain't gonna put a pin in it.
No, but I do want to say my last thing. That 20 seconds, that 20 minutes just hit. But this isn't going to what we was just on. I think that in the conversation as it unfurled, I think we have really low standards for what actual revolution looks like for Black people. And I would also say that it goes to the idea of being it goes to the idea of being satiable, in which I brought back. There was a conversation that I had maybe a few weeks ago, where I think that we are satiable, satisfied people. And the fact of like any actual real change happening in our community won't happen because of said thing. If our low-hanging fruit to actually having a revolution is very minute things, it'll never happen.
But okay, so
I'm
not gonna go nowhere else. But your question was based off of what would be peaceful. Like we was going based off what you were saying.
But I asked, what does a Black revolution look like?
You said a peaceful revolution.
No.
Like,
I said, can a revolution be ethical? That was the first question.
And I gave examples, but
and then I gave a follow-up that said, what does the Black revolution look like? I didn't put ethical anything on it. I said, what does it look like? Because then we can figure out if there's a roadmap.
Did you answer what it looks like for you? Because I mean, I know we're supposed to be off this topic, but now I am curious. What does the Black revolution look like to you?
Good question. I don't know if I've actually sat and overly unpacked that. If I was to freestyle it right now, a Black revolution in general would be.
You better be talking about grabbing AKs and running up in the.
You've been talking. It's like really, we got to be at the top of the totem pole. We gonna flip this motherfucker, and we really got running the shit. So I was just saying, that's what you said.
Got you. So now what y'all are talking about is the action of the revolution and not the end goal. So when I hear that question,
I want the same answer, the same way you was asking us the question.
Right. So let me get to it, because y'all
was about to switch up the question. You was about to reframe your own question. I wanted the same way you just asked.
Let them go.
I guess
I ain't mean to cut them
off.
So
like a revolution would be the end goal of it. Rail was just talking about the actions that it takes to get to the revolution. So if I'm giving like the thought of what I'm actually looking for, it would have to be either a revolution for Black people in America. It will be a sovereign space and state, actual retribution for things that have happened. And I think that those would be the two things. It will be either a sovereign place and state and or true retributions for what has happened. And just pretty much uncuffing all the handcuffs and redlining that has existed for years.
Now I'm gonna post this question to the panel. If all that he just said happened with the current state that Black people are in, that we see on an everyday basis, the current moral state, mental state, whatever you want to say. If we was to get those things right now, how revolutionary do you think that would be for us? Like, how do you think that would turn out?
Well, it wouldn't, because I think the things we were talking about have to occur first before we get to that point of what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to move away from the news. We have to get completely away from the church.
Since the community.
But we have
no,
to.
No, I was not my head.
You gotta sit there, dog. Throw that way in there.
You better keep on going.
I was like, I was over here. You know, I be like,
Oh, my bad. All right, so
let me
go ahead.
I
guess I'm like starting to think a little bit further.
I think we're gonna have to have the mentality shift. We're gonna have to have the low-hanging fruit revolution before we even get to the point to where we're able to sustain a state of our own as Black people. We're gonna have to have like all these other smaller peaceful revolutions before we get to a big separate from state type of revolution.
As it stands, I do not just want to be in a state with y'all niggas, bro. I don't want that, bro. Right now,
it wouldn't.
Hell no. I know. I'm staying where I'm at.
It would be the epitome of dysfunction. It'd be the epitome. But fellas, I think we done wore that one out. Like we might even have to come back to that one.
I actually appreciate Tone putting me on the spot just because I hadn't really thought about it. But I also
none of us had though. It's okay.
Oh, no, it's cool. But I do want to add another piece to the end of it. There does have to be a difference in governance when it comes down to like our systems. Like it couldn't be a pure capitalistic society.
And that's my whole thing.
Like it still be democratic, but I think a proper socialism / maybe a little free market would be closer to it, and that's not going to happen without war.
And I think we will go ahead and put a bookmark in that. and yeah, we'll come back. But I got a question for the panel. I had a few different ways I want to go with it, but we done beat that last one too much. So I'm gonna go with this. And it's just about I'm struggling to, I forgot how I framed it, but it has to deal with clout chasing and why do people think they can just get away with something on camera and then do something disrespectful on camera and then say it's just a prank. And then say it's just a prank.
No, I was joking.
And get away with it. Because I've seen example after example this week where, I mean, the first one I saw, it was a dude, he be on the what's it called? The escalators.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming up, going down, and he'll always, like, it'll be a girl and her dude.
Oh yeah.
And he'll come and like grab the chin or grab the arm and be like, yeah, you bad. And then come down the escalator and meet the motherfuckers.
Oh, death wish
down. And like I done seen bro getting about, I mean, I went through his page, man, about 3-4 times. He about got pressed. And then he'd be like, oh nah, bro, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. But like, it's not just,
but you still did what you did.
The disrespect was real life. Yeah. Like it was real time. And it's this girl, Lexi I am or something. And she be running up on motherfuckers saying, you want to fight?
And then I think I might have seen her.
You want
she light skin?
Yeah, brown skin, little like she ain't no red bone, but she
lighter skin.
She lighter skin, yeah. A little caramel.
She
actually like, I don't know, but you
gonna say she's like cute?
A little bit, but
that's why she couldn't be light skinned. That's why you kept throwing that caramel. You don't like light skin, but you're doing caramel. All right, keep going.
Call him out.
I was trying to figure out why you kept like saying, nah, it's caramel.
That's reverse colorism, man.
Chill out. Go ahead.
But she be just wilding and she be, no, it's just it's like, girl, you better get your block.
I see her running from this chick one time.
But bro, every time, like she got like hemmed up. Like I seen this one, she had like dropped some fake weed or something, and then came back and was like, nah, I need that. And bro about pulled the blicky out on her. And I was like where are we at as a society that like being famous and going viral means that much that you're willing to like put your well-being, you know, in jeopardy just to get a couple clicks, and then not even stand on it. Be like, you do some disrespectful, like that's really clown behavior to me, to do some disrespectful stuff and then be like, oh no, it's just a prank. So I just want to know where. I guess I'm just trying to figure out where that mindset comes from, and how do we get past it? And I mean, is there any way to get past that?
I just my thing, mine's just short and quick. It's just people, their urge and need for attention. It's attention seeking behavior. What it is that like you and the idea of getting this fame, you know what I mean? And then it's also the for sale, because the idea is that I can run up these numbers and then get some money. It's all for sale culture, attention seeking culture. Like I think that's what the answer I think it is. And it's a lot, bro. The for sale shit is so old, bro. And social media just takes it to the next level.
It should be crazy to me.
It takes it to the next level. Like, bro, we are way too for sale. Way too for sale.
No, I think that's, I think it speaks to, a lot of like where we gotta go. But I think what you got, Q?
Oh no, I don't think there's much else to say, but that is the attention seeking economy. In which, I mean, that's what they're doing it for. That's what it's based off of. I mean, and this is different than, say, troll culture, where it's all happening on the internet, so you don't believe that it's
any repercussions.
That there's repercussions. This invites repercussions up to right there, right before it happens. Because most people live their lives through their phone, through the internet, and because of that, like you can get like that dopamine hit of like, oh, it almost is an altercation, and it's a quick little rush. So like that's the psychology behind why those videos go so crazy and different things like that. Same difference of like why fight video compilations used to run up numbers on YouTube. It's an adrenaline and dopamine hit that comes from being able to visually see but not have to be in that moment. But yeah, again,
I got a question to go with that. Do you think that there will ever, which I have no faith, but I just want to see what everybody else think. Do you think that there ever will come a time where we just pretty much turn our back on very, very low hanging fruit entertainment?
No.
Nah, it's too fun.
When the Black Revolution comes.
That's the only way, right? That'll have to be a part of the revolution.
The crazy part about it, I don't even think it's so much wrong with having low hanging fruit. I think it's kind of necessary. It's like small talk, but the issue comes more so.
Too
I think the issue comes more so where there are no other ideas being presented, or when this is just the main idea being presented, like the low hanging fruit. That's all you're getting. That's all we got for you.
Well,
like,
I'm not against prank culture, because I was just watching a prank. Well, like there's harmless pranks, there's pranks and good fun. That's like you can be creative. I'm not against having fun. I'm not against like
that's stuff you talking about though. I be seeing some
and doing like, cause I seen one that was like a good humor prank. Like some guys had like a microphone and like a hidden speaker, and when like people will walk, they do like the Squidward sounds, like and like more people just be looking around and they wouldn't know.
But if a fat person walked, did they do that?
They ain't do nobody fat, so I don't know. But like everybody I saw that they did it to, they would like be freaked out at first and be like, "What the?" And then they start laughing and go on about their day. But like nobody came up to them and like grab their girl,
and that's why I think it's a problem. We start putting hands on people and stuff like that.
Disrespectful. It's not.
And then on top of that, they be knowing that they gonna get away with it, because it's like, if I actually do something to you, you have your camera on live stream. So I done seen this. This dude was still about to do something to the dude, and then he thought about the fact he was on live stream.
Well, I seen one. The dude said, "Man, I got my stick," and then the prank dude said, "Well, I got mine too." And I was like, "Bro, what the fuck do that matter? Like, that you got your stick, you gonna get." Like, they'll make you bulletproof. That motherfucker decided to.
Don't mean you're gonna use it. That's
yeah. Or like if you pranking somebody, like you're thinking about the prank. You ain't thinking about whipping your shit out. Like you doing a prank. Motherfucker just pull it out and shoot you dead in your shit. You die with that shit on your hip. Like that don't mean shit. So like I don't know. It just irked me sometimes when I see that. And like, and I ain't against like having a good time and like doing fun little pranks, I mean, I even prank people at the job. Like, I'm cool with it, but like, there's a certain line and a certain like level.
We don't got lines no more, bro.
Well,
that's why
we don't got lines no more. That goes back into the moral and ethical state.
I guess we don't got lines. I guess so, but like to me, I feel like they got to be something that tell you, let me not disrespect this man on camera, and then if I do disrespect this man on camera, I'm gonna have to stand on that. I'm not just gonna like punk out and be like, oh, it's a prank. once I feel like he gonna actually beat my ass
when I deserve it.
When I deserve it, and then be like, oh no, it's a prank. Look, the camera over there. No, you need to get your ass whooped, like on camera. Like that's what I think need to start happening to some of these dudes. Like, motherfuckers just need to start. But then they go to the people who put hands on them. They probably gonna
have to sit down.
You have to deal with some other consequences. But
oh no, if you beat somebody for touching your girl, that's sexual harassment, prank or not.
Could be self-defense, but
hey,
like,
you don't put your hands on her. You rubbing her hands.
But that's at least a case, though. That's at least you have to argue that in front of the judge, probably. Like,
some work.
You have to pay a lawyer. You know, it's gonna get in your pockets a little bit.
Possibly. Yeah, just let it. Yeah.
Lose time off work, all of that shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I can. We got a little bit of time, bro. Man, say I can't freestyle, but I'm about to.
Oh, you gonna cut? Oh,
I'm about to hit him with something. No, don't put no beat up. Don't put no beat up. But nah, because I guess, I mean, we kind of, you know, we boxed that one in pretty nice and neat and pretty tight. We got a little bit of time, so I'll go to my second question, and we can, and it kind of goes.
You keep looking at me. Go ahead,
because it got you put me there. You put me there. You got me there. You got me there because one of my questions coming into it that I wasn't gonna use, but I'll do it now is, you know, what is stopping us from world peace? Because, like I say, we live in the internet age. We have the most technology of any like fucking time in the world. We you know, we have the most knowledge, the access to knowledge, and really just the collective like reasoning and ability to stay connected just makes us makes us faster and quicker than previous generation and previous times. And with all of these things we have going against us, there's over like 30 active conflicts in the world. We still fight like it's like it's medieval times. And I'm wondering, like, what about human beings, black, white, American, British, European, like what makes like what prevents us as a world from having peace? And is there a solution that's plausible?
I don't believe that world peace is ever achievable in general. Not ever achievable in general. I'll say that. I think it's like a facade, and when people used to say that in beauty contests, it's just like a buzzword to
world peace.
Right. It's just a buzzword that people say. The reason is, no matter how you break it down, it's always going to come down to some level of a social hierarchy. Whether it's economics, race, no matter what it is, it's a social hierarchy. And I think that it's probably innate inside human nature for social hierarchies to exist, no matter what. And we're also really tribal as humans, and that's always been its own thing. And it's probably go with it.
I mean, it's greed and the need for the social hierarchy. In order for you to be right, a lot of people got to be wrong. In order for you to be the best, somebody has to be worse. So we just need that. We just need that. I don't know. It's like the Olympics and like the games and all of this stuff that we've come up with is literally so that we can prove that we're better than this person. And it's just that we can't help it.
Dude, would it be fun if everything was equal?
You said, would it be fun?
Yeah, that shit probably wouldn't even be fun.
Well, I mean, I think that if everything was equal, as far as like as far as monetary stuff, I think that it would give like a creativity would probably be crazy.
Or not. Everybody be satiable.
Well, it goes
because everybody was on the same level that other people.
I think the hunger is what sparked the best part of creativity.
That's true too.
I mean, I don't think the whole world has to be completely equal for there to be world peace. I mean, I think.
So you believe that world peace is achievable?
I don't think so.
I mean, I'd like to think it is. I mean, I'd have to. I mean, me deep down inside, the little kid in me, you know, still believes that. Like, I mean,
So we were just talking about creativity, imagination.
Yeah, like the little kid in me still believes that. Like, we got all of this shit. Like, I mean, 400-500 years ago, they was shitting in like wooden houses and shit. We got all of this technology and like all of this ability to, not only just like keep it here, but translate it across the world. The world's real small now.
I think that makes us even less likely to get world peace because of how far.
But how? But like, because if you could give like a higher standard of living, that's pretty possible. Like if we could just translate that across most of these places where they don't, then like what?
So, but you also have to eliminate all competition
for war. I don't think.
See, I don't necessarily think.
I don't think competition goes to all the way. Has to go to war. I think when the competition,
like competition is the root of the fight for resources. Like if you're playing a sport, the resources maybe like attention or fame or something like that.
Yeah, you can play a basketball game and you win, and then nobody has like. There's not a lot of fights. That
niggas gonna die over basketball games too.
Honestly, I think
that's fucking crazy to me though. Like that niggas gonna die. Like that's crazy as fuck.
So to me, in hypothetical land world, I think that.
That gotta be all.
Then you gotta pull his hat. You gotta get a hat that say that, and then pull that because he pulled out a hat every time he say it too. So hypothetical.
Yeah, to me, I think that
in Dreamville, that's what it is because he got a Dreamville hat. So
our festival, hypothetical land world.
In hypothetical land world, city Dreamville. I think that you have to do away with all things. You have to do away with money, religion, politics. Any version of social order, any identification, whether it be man, female, black, white, XYZ. The closest thing that we have to do is that everybody have to interbreed, and there's no difference inside skin color. Phenotype would have to also be taken away in general. So as close as we can get everybody to look like when you first start the NBA 2K creative player.
So you think,
and everybody got the base model. Yeah, everybody got to be the base model.
So we all have to be the same in order for there not.
Only way.
You don't agree that there's no possibility of cohabitation between different people in the world.
When have it ever happened?
But I'm saying a possibility.
You said world. You said world. It's a big place.
It is a big place.
Humans want to conquer. If you ain't noticed that either. Mm-hmm. Every single country has always just wanted to expand and conquer shit. Yeah, Genghis Khan did the same thing that them Brits did.
The crazy part though is I think a lot of the stuff that goes on, a lot of the what we would determine as negative or evil shit that goes on is based off of like a lot of the same premises. People being brought up in lesser conditions, people being brought up that's hungry. It's like a lot of this starts as children, and then you have these ideas that's developed based off of lack of something.
I only disagree because of the European colonization of the world came off of them being rich and wanting to exploit poor to be even more rich.
Okay, so their initial thing though was they was in the Caucasus Mountains before that. So it's like you still got to look like, because even that was a cause.
Wasn't nobody fucking with them in them cold ass mountains.
This is what I'm saying though. Like
it was up there by themselves.
By them goddamn
themselves. Them Africans would not club. They were like,
they lived there and was cold and came down better.
Hey, them Africans we ain't do that to Saudi Arabia. They were like, yeah, they about as far north as I'm gonna go. They stopped in Pakistan.
Yeah, you're right though, because even after we taught them how to dress and all that stuff, they didn't change their mind and be like, yeah, we go do it right. They doggone took over Egypt.
The Moors taught them how to piss.
Like the Egyptians invited the Greeks in there, and the Greeks took over Egypt.
We joking. I still got one more.
It's just jokes.
I got one more question though.
All right,
let's go to Q, because you a couple weeks ago, you it may have been last week, but you talked about Brave New World and how like the elimination of a lot of these, the church and all of that, it led to a world where there was basically world peace.
You see how man say the church and all of that. What was the rest of it?
I just remember the church.
You just remember the church.
I hate the church.
Trigger him, Johnny. You know a trigger word now.
It ain't really a trigger word. It's just funny because you just literally do that every time.
Well, you keep on saying something about it. Like, hey.
Johnny said the real revolution starts at the church house.
I can't wait to meet Mr. Newton.
Oh yeah, he be pissed off about
that shit. I'm gonna tell him all that shit.
Just get his number and send him this link.
To church every week.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But so like, couldn't the revolution look similar to the way?
All right, so my bad. I don't think I told y'all how that ended. One.
No.
Okay, all right. So also, in there wasn't specifically religion, and everybody was satiable, but there was hierarchy, heavy hierarchy. It was Alpha, Delta, Epsilon, and it was one other one in which they could do what they wanted inside their certain realms. But like the betas had to listen to the alphas. The epsilon pretty much was the working class people. And there was somebody that was under them that did like something else of duties. But what ended up happening in that was still the idea of autonomy became a disease inside the minds of the lower class. And it ended up being that it was a violent revolution. That's what it was. Like, so they kind of like broke. I'm trying to think of like what was the initial thing. Nonetheless, it was a Messiah that came down. He led them to the idea of them actually being free people, being able to do what the alphas was doing. They went up there and they killed all the alphas and anybody else that did them wrong. And then that was the.
Don't let Tone hear that.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I wasn't about to go. I wasn't going to.
No, you said never mind.
Oh, he's talking about. Okay, all right.
That wasn't gonna phase me.
Yeah, I'm talking about the social order of like what people say like alphas and shit like that.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna phase me. Don't get me started.
But yeah, and honestly, again, if we kind of circle it just a little bit, what I see in Israel is very similar to what I seen inside that Brave New World thing of what the uprising actually eventually looked like. I was just talking to Taj about that the other day. Was like, we just watched this film. You know what this looked just like? And that be the part. And all right, my bad. I'm gonna go slightly. When they be saying citizens and shit like that, then they just killed innocent citizens. If you look at the apartheid state and what them settlers are doing in the West Bank, shit crazy. Like the Palestinians have to put up like metal, like barbed wire. Or not, it's like fencing to catch the trash that the settlers are throwing down on them. That shit's crazy. Like that's where they throw their trash at down there where the Palestinians are living at.
No, I mean,
you don't think that's going to eventually erupt into a violent?
Well, there's always
and not even the fact that like you're already encroaching on space that's supposed to be mine.
Yeah, that's
we wrote an agreement that said it's supposed to be mine. But now you sitting above me throwing shit down on
me.
You know
the crazy thing is when you said the first time, doesn't it remind you of like the Ukraine scenario too?
With nobody,
the agreement.
Nobody would call the Ukrainians terrorists for shooting rockets at Russia.
For sure.
And that's what we're doing now by calling Palestinians terrorists for fighting against,
because we've been in bed since 1948.
Occupation state. So I mean, I don't want to get it twisted. You know, I'm on the right side of history.
What's that?
You know,
world peace,
man. World peace. But nah, like I say, I do want peace in the Middle East. I do think the two-state solution is the only way to get to peace. It's the only way you're not gonna have civilians dying. You're not gonna have violent resistance and revolutions. I think that is something that needs to be pushed. But
can I give my quick solution? I think in a one state, not named Israel or Palestine, will probably be the only way it could probably happen.
No, that shit, they gonna kill each other
because they both
kill each other.
But they both are fighting over the idea of ownership of the land.
I know, but if you put them together, they kill each other.
China. Let's bring them Chinese in there and get them on social credit score them boys.
Hey, when China invade Taiwan, that's when World War III gonna really kick off, because like everybody basically choosing sides. If you're looking at the world picture, between like Armenia, Azerbaijan.
Talking about who's recognizing Israel or Palestine?
No, I'm talking about what countries are aligning and getting together. It's like because it's a bunch of wars out there from Ukraine to Russia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Israel, Palestine, China, Taiwan, and there's people that choose sides in each one of these
Armenia
countries.
Where they make the thick white chicks?
Kim K's Armenian.
Oh,
okay. So just put that out there. The Kardashians are Armenians. They got okay up out of here. but that was a good one. This was the To Be Fair show.
First time we did it live.
We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let us know who y'all agree with. You know, it was a bunch. It was a bunch. I ain't even gonna run all the way through it.
BET the revolution.
Hey, whatever. Whatever. I'm focused. I'm focused.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say hit the notification button. You'll get updates for all these episodes that's dropping next week. Hit the like button if you're still watching. Please do that. We need that. Comment below. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. It's called The To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Over here, real.
It's Q.
And we out.
He